Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm going to talk about the few things that's going on in America that I think are a big problem to us. I hope everybody's well. I'm probably going to be on for about a 35, 40-minute speech, talk about a few things. So I really would have your utmost attention to this, and this is vitally important. My name is Joseph Samuel Catalano III, and today I'm not here today as a career politician. I'm here as an American who lives what millions of people are going through right now, an American who knows what it feels like to work hard, to try to do the right thing, and still feel like you're falling behind. And I'm here today with a simple mission to bring honesty and integrity back into leadership and to fix the root of the problem that are hurting the American people. Let me start with something every single American understands: groceries. You don't need a degree in economics to know something is wrong. You feel it every time you walk into the store, every time you check out. You're paying more and walk out with less. So let me ask the question directly: why are groceries still so high? We were told prices were up because of supply chains. We were told it was temporary. But here we are, and families are still struggling. And here's the truth: costs went up fast, but relief never came back down. That's the problem. Not just groceries, that's the pattern across this country. When pressured, when we pressure, I'm sorry, when pressure hits the system, it goes straight to the people. But when the pressure eases, it doesn't come back to you. And that's not right. That's not how a fair system works. And it doesn't stop at the grocery store. Now I'm going to touch on another thing that I was been following. We all know that President Trump, he did a bunch of tariffs. A lot of people didn't understand it. A lot of people didn't want it. A lot of people were, angry with it. And the whole thing was that his pitch was it's going to be good for the country, good for the country. It's going to come back to the American people. Well, all I could say is this. Let's talk about something people don't always see: tariffs. When the costs were put in place, companies didn't absorb them. You paid them. Bottom line is we paid them when they raised all the groceries at the store. So we got charged every time you bought groceries at the store. You were charged for what our government took in tariffs from each one of these companies. Every single week, now we're seeing legal challenges, disputes, and money moving back through the system. But here's the question nobody's answering: is the money coming back to you? No, prices went up fast, and they stayed up. That's the pattern, and that's what needs to be fixed. I believe that a federal judge is ruling that it was done maybe possibly illegally, the way you get the tariffs, and that it was ordered all back to the people that took the tariffs. So if that's the case, if they're getting their money back, that why they really raised all the food prices to charge all the American people, then I think the American people should get that money back. But yet we're not seeing that. We're seeing the prices go up. We're seeing gas go up. We're seeing everything go up. So that's a big problem, and there's a lot of people in America that are very angry about that. Now we're going to go into rent and housing, another big problem. Rents are way out of control. Some states are worse than others. Let's talk about housing. Why rent is still so high? Why are families working full time and still struggling to just keep a roof over their heads? Because right now, regular Americans are competing with large corporations for a place to live. And they're losing. Homes are being bought up like assets instead of being treated like what they are, a place for families to live in. And then there's another issue people aren't talking about enough: homeowners association. I don't know if you guys are aware. I've been following. People are losing their homes today. Their mortgages are not behind. They're all caught. Mortgages are fine, but the homeowner, when you live in an area that has under a homeowner association, you get to pay a monthly fee, and they usually take care of the maintenance, the lawn care, and the neighborhood stuff, and you pay a homeowner associate fee. They're getting judgments and throwing people out of homes for just the homeowner association fees. There are cases in this country, real cases, where people who are current on their mortgage and at risk of losing their homes over unpaid HOA. That to me is absurd. And if our current government don't step in and do something, I'm going to tell you what. You could bet assure that they don't care about you, me, your families, or anybody else. And it could be happening in some of your families. Think about this. You know, I'm not polished, and I may not ever been a politician, and I may struggle with understanding certain policies in government, which I'm definitely willing to learn anything and everything. But I'll stand and fight for what I believe in. I'll stand side by side with all the American people. And if we stand together and there's a voice every day fighting, I'm just another person. If I make it onto the ballot, I'm just another person that gives the opportunity for you to have another voice. You guys decide who wins. The American people vote the people in. Okay. If they want to, if they're going to complain and complain and complain and complain, and then put back in the polished, rich politician that does nothing but just make a bunch of promises, that's on them. It's on you guys. But if a guy like me who has no experience, but's willing to get up every single day, and we can't take 10 things and win in the first day. We have to go one by one by one by one and tackle them down. We have to build good rapport with Congress, good rapport with the Senate. We got to get Congress to take our stuff, get it in there, get votes on it. We have to get it into law. So we got to do it one at a time. Nothing's going to be fixed overnight. But the same problem they claim they're going to do, and they don't do nothing. All I know is I'm another voice for the American people to hear. And if they like what I'm doing and I'm touching on areas that they have the same struggle with, because let's face it, no normal president will sit down next to anybody, a normal person in their home, and can sit there and swap stories with them that he knows about prison reform or he knows about being an addict. He can't. So how can they really understand anything? But when you connect with people that have struggled with all these things, and there's a lot of Americans that have struggled with prison and addiction, more than you can understand. And they really believe in the person that's sitting next to them and connecting with them. And they're like, you're just like me. You're just like us. You're just like my brother. You're just like my sister. God, my father and mother were addicts. They look in your eyes and they say, you really do care. Do you think they're going to vote for the polished politician, which 70% of America is already sick of? I know my faults are my temper. I have to control, because one thing they won't put up with is if I'm so quick to anger, what's going to happen if I'm in the war room and we're got to make some pretty powerful decisions in that war room, and all of a sudden I get a prank phone call or something, someone saying something that pisses me off, and I'm irate like I've done before on the internet. How are people going to trust it? I'm just like I just push buttons because I'm angry because of what somebody said to me, or someone don't like, or someone made fun of me. Someone says I'm dumb. Someone says I've never bought this type of clothes. I never worked. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. And I keep letting that get to me. Then nobody will trust me. The people that have been good to me, who've tried to help me, they said it's okay that you did wild streams and but you made the choice to register and put your name on a piece of paper and file it. So you got to understand that you have to change now. You have to change. You have to really change, which I know you can, but you let people get to you. And I did a lot of soul searching since yesterday. And I said to myself, do I want this? Do I want to put myself through the hell I'm going to put myself the next year and a half to prove a point, or to prove to myself I can get on the ballot? And I said, absolutely yes. Can I control my temper? Can I stay out of the Dabbleverse? I think I can. Can I not pay attention to what anybody says? I believe I can. It's going to take a lot of will. But if I could accomplish that and get on track and focus on what is really wrong, and I connect when I start going on the road and connect with families and American people, and they see a person before them that they know is going to get up every day and fight, all that other stuff will come naturally. I have the ability to learn. I have the ability to learn. Right now, I'm like a sponge. I want to learn as much as I can. I make no excuses. And people are right. If they ask a question, if I put myself as a public figure, I did that. Not you guys. I did that. All you guys at podcast, we did it. We all, once we entered to show live streams, we made ourselves public figures. I entered into a political race. Not only just a political race, but the top job, the highest hierarchy job in all of the positions. I mean, I could have went for a congressman, but we know that I'm limited to certain. Excuse me, I need some water. And I'm limited to certain things right now. So I'm one of those people that said, if I only got 3 choices, I'm going to go for the top shop. Why would I want to try for the lowest one? I understand it's not a reality to people. A lot of people think it's just not a reality to a lot of you people, and I understand, I respect that. To me, it is. And again, I will get up every day and tackle one thing at a time to make it better and make the American people feel safer and make the American people have their voice back. And that's what I promise. Like I said, getting on the ballot's one thing. That's not getting me a vote. I'm not asking you to vote for me. I'm asking you to get me on the ballot. Even if I'm on the ballot, it's still going to be your choice to vote. So I get on the ballot and nobody votes. Okay? But at least I'm up trying every day. And I do go out and I work. Like I said, when I first came into this, I was all over the place. I got to go to this place. No, you don't. You live in your home states first. It's one of the toughest states to get. You need to focus on that. Thank God that Florida allows me this early to go out and collect signatures, because if they didn't, there's no way. I would have never even, there's just no physical way, being I got no experience and I don't have that many volunteers helping me. There's just no way it could be done. The fact that Florida gave me way plenty enough time. I mean, this is 2026 and everything's got to be in by July of 2028. So I have little more than 2 full years to accomplish this. So I'm going to be way ahead of schedule. Once I get Florida out the way and I'm on the ballot, I think that'll make a statement where maybe people look at me a little more serious. But that still don't excuse that you have to answer questions if you're running for president. You have to answer questions if you're in the Senate. You have to answer taxpayers' questions. You got to learn certain things, and they're right, 100%. But I'm running a campaign that's going to get me on being very transparent of my life, all my mistakes that have turned me into a better man, to connect with the American people that have struggled the same way that I have. And there's a lot of people, more than you know, that have changed their life and went through all the same things I went through. And when you connect with that people like that, and they're tired of a system that's messed up, or tired of the rich politician, or tired of the Ivy League school, it's not that hard to get them to vote for you. All you got to do is build the trust. I got the makeup to do the talk. I could do the walk. What I don't have is the full knowledge of government. But I will. Because I have to. That's just without doubt. But you got to remember one thing. If history's taught us anything, presidents are smart. A lot of them are very educated in government. But some of them are not as educated as you think, because everybody that works with them in the White House, their staff, they do everything for the president. Everything. You got my speech? Here you go. He may tweak it and say, I don't like this word or whatever, but they tailor it to him. They write it. All he's got to do is go read the teleprompter. Commander-in-Chief is in charge of the entire military. So he's the one that gives the go. Nobody goes without his word. So when you got a situation and you got to go in because they captured American soldiers, they took us hostage. Let's say they took, on routine drives for our military on soil in other countries on American soil, but they're going out and they're doing their, they're just doing their exercise that they have to do. And there's no war going on, but then all of a sudden, that country's leaders want to grab those 4 Marines, take them hostage, and they make demands on us. I got to make the decision. Do we negotiate? What do we do? Of course, we have to be sound mind and ready to do that. And every time I'll go get our men and women without hesitation. But I have to listen to all the commanders, all the colonels. They sit down at a table and they brief the president and they tell him, but they won't go without his word. And that's a hard choice when someone comes before you and you got to go save some American soldiers, and you ask them how many casualties it'll be tonight. At least 1,000. And you wipe out 1,000 people to get 4 of your Marines. But I'll do it every time. Because every other country must know we're the strongest and the best military in the world. And we can never show that weakness. We can never show weakness to any country. That's why we are the most freest and powerful country in all of the world. Because we don't show weakness. It takes a certain person to do certain things. I mean, some people in any job, you can take any just normal job. Some people are really skilled at their jobs. Some people that have special skills that not only a hand. I have a friend that a lot of you guys know that he was at the Dabbleverse, and he's got a special skilled job that there's only 2 people in the whole world that does his job, and so he's paid very well, and that's why he has to keep his life secret. There's a lot of people like that in the world. They got special skills, and they can't be replaced. Also, we got to have concern about our generation of kids that are coming up today. The generation of kids today have no respect. They want to play video games. They don't want to go to school. They don't know about the word respect, and they have no leadership qualities. What happens? We may all be long gone from now, 40 years from now, all of us here that's in the, I don't know, maybe I might have a bunch of 60-year-old, 56-year-old people in here listening to me. 30 or 40 years, we're all gone. But you got your children and your grandchildren, and you know what the generation is, the kids today. You got to be concerned about, even though you won't be here, what's leadership going to be like in 30 years from now? Because there's none. From what I've seen, the generation coming up, there's not going to be none. There's nobody with a backbone to do anything like that because nobody cares. And that's a problem. I won't be here. You won't be here. So it's easy to say, yeah, but it's not our problem. But even though I know you're gone and your soul goes whether it goes up or down, I still think that some point in life we'll still know and care. What I believe in. So all I'm asking is this is how I have to operate and tread if I'm going to continue with my campaign. And yes, there's days that I get frustrated, and I get and I admit I'm very quick to someone baiting me, but I'm not weak. I'm not weak. I'm not afraid. I just sometimes I think too quickly and react too quickly, which then once it sets me off, I wind up just making myself look really ridiculous because no one really cares in our world here in the internet about anybody. You guys don't really care the fact if I'm running or not. You care about the fact about making to show that as many people as you can that how much of a jackass you think I am, or stuff like that. That's what you guys do, and I come to the conclusion, like I said, I don't really mingle with the chat that much. I don't really read the chat. I can't fix what I can't. I can't change what I have no control of. I can't change. I can't make people do anything unless they're breaking the law against somebody. That's different. If they're doing things on me that are maliciously and are law breaking, then of course, in my right mind, what do I have? What's my options? I got 2 options, and the first one is ugly, and I really don't want to do that because that's just going to cause me a lot of pain and misery. And the second option is you just take it to the authorities. Then you got to put your trust in that. Now I'm going to throw something out here, and then I'm going to finish my speech, and I'm going to get out of here tonight. Over 200 years ago, the amendments were written. Forefathers sat down, they wrote 27 amendments. And wonderful. The First Amendment's a beautiful thing. I agree with everybody. The First Amendment protects everybody. But some people, I will say this, and take advantage. Let's put it, this is a better way I want to put it. Everybody knows the First Amendment was here. How many people 20 years ago really invoked the First Amendment before the internet? How many people didn't really give a rat's ass about the First Amendment because they never used it? They understood it. They know what it's good for. But let's face it, they didn't care until they became internet trolls, correct? And then and most of the trolls are probably very wealthy, smart, educated, computer savvy, and they just know what they're doing. So they go out and they study the First Amendment really well, and they say, "Wow, this really is perfect for what I want to do." They take advantage of it because they know, as long as I stay in these guidelines, there's nothing nobody's going to do. Now, all the Dabbleverse is not all American. We got a lot of people from foreign countries, and those are the ones I let rattle me more than anything. When shouldn't even matter because they got no say in anything in our country anyhow. So I really feel like a jackass when I allow foreigners rattle me when their word means nothing. I just always been built. If you guys really understood and ever listened to some of the things I've said, I've always been a protector of people that I love and care for. I've always been the one that stopped at the door and took the hits for everybody. I've been like that my whole life. You go, I'll take the bullet. You go, I'll stay here and die. That's been me with all my friends, all my relatives, all my family. All my life, that's what I have to do. I chose to do because I didn't really have a teenage life. I had a child at 17 and I had to become a man and work, and I worked at a very young age. So I cheated myself out of a lot of things. That's on me. But I always felt a sense that I always had to be the protector. Even when they're adults and you let them go to the real world. And I just still always felt that with everybody, especially my friends. The few friends that I had in life, I always was there like a family member, like a brother. And I would die for them because that's how much I love my friends and my family. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. But it's my time now. Everybody has made it and survived, and they're all on their own with their own lives and their own family, their own children. But yet I still want to protect myself. My wife yells at me all the time. I don't care what people say. It's not true. Why do you work yourself up? I love you. I think great that you stand for me, but you don't have to. Don't worry about it. Don't even pay attention. What do? I do the opposite. That's because I'm the way I'm built. And some of you guys know that. Some of you guys are good enough to figure out, what and each and every person that you troll, you know how to make them tick and you know how to set them off. But the problem is the ones that do that, some of them think they're better than everybody. Some of them think they're smarter than everybody. And some of them think that they're perfect and they just do it to break balls, and they're not. They're lying. They really are. So I just gotta focus on my campaign and do me. And hopefully I can get on the ballot and give the people a chance to know me. And when election day comes, if I'm on the ballot, and if I am, by any grace of God, if I'm voted in, and I see people in somebody's chat will say, what happens if he does get in? He's definitely got the moxie to be a president. He's got it down to a science. He'll definitely be not afraid to talk. What if he really does win? What's going to happen then? That's it. I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to fight for everything that you guys believe in, everything that I believe in. The two-party system was built, and they made a good job of building it to protect themselves and to protect their rich and powerful friends. I mean, here's a good example. Let's say when they're talking about raising taxes. Now, Republicans propose one way, Democrats propose another way. So let's take as a Democrat. You got the really hardworking person that's got the $5 or $6 an hour job. He works 40 hours a week at $6 an hour. That's $240 $240 a week at $6 an hour, right? 61.21. Yeah, $240 a week. Times that by 4. If it gets paid weekly, okay, you got 1,000. I'm sorry, you got $960 a month. He's got 2 kids and a wife. He says, I can't pay that. I can't. Then they take 15% of taxes out of him. Now you take 50%. If it's 1,000 a month, take 50%. Now he's down to $850. He definitely ain't gonna do it. So he goes, let's get a second job, and he gets himself another 9,000 income. Still poverty, still barely making it. They take 15%. Average school teacher in the world makes, I think, 41,000 a year, which is garbage paid for school teachers because they're vitally important to education. I've always thought that they were underpaid and treated unfairly. You know, I do see things, and I don't agree with how they've treated teachers over the years. These are people that go to school to care about your children, your grandchildren, to teach them a better way of life. So that speaks volumes for people, to me, their character. People that are school teachers and professors, they do it because they love it, and they hope that they can better people's lives. But they do it at a very, very bad pay, you know. And so let's say they make the average of 41,000, and their tax bracket is 28%. Okay, no problem. And you got the doctor who makes 150,000 a year. His tax bracket is 36%. And everybody's got their brackets. Now the Republicans want to raise taxes, and then we go back to the same 3 boxes. And they're telling you that they should put money back in people's pockets. Okay, well, let's see. Go back to the average, the poor worker that works for the minimum wage, 0 money back. You go back to the school teachers, still 0 money back. You go to the rich bracket. Oh, well, look at this. The tax break that they lied about and said it was going to help all the American people, it helped the rich because now they're getting money back. And this is what they do. And then you got a Democratic president in. Now he's making his pitch for the bill. And you go to the 3 boxes, but now the poor person, he gets $500 back. School teachers get $1,500 back. And the rich guy went up by 1%. By 1%. He don't get nothing back because he doesn't deserve to get nothing back. Because the rich, have got powerful friends that make them have breaks to get money back while the American people suffer. That's why economy's broken. That's why everything's got to run like a Swiss timepiece. Everything's got to run in a circle. Everything's got to run perfectly oiled. And that's what happens in America. The poor never get a break. The middle class never get a break. And then you add into all the other things that go wrong, with people being addicts and the crime rate and people pulling scams. I'm one of those people that've done it over the years. I've done it. I'm probably a big cause of why corporations have raised insurance on people. I take accountability for that. If I was trying to scam, and every time I won, and every time they got beat out of money, they just put it back in the cost for you to pay for it. So I am responsible for that. Not solely responsible for everything, but I contributed to that. I know what I did wrong. Again, no one has to remind me about anything I did wrong criminally. Nobody has to. I know what I've done wrong. Nobody has to remind me of how many years I was an addict. I know how many years I was an addict. No one has to remind me that I've struggled and been poor and worked to my hands and feet couldn't take it no more. And jobs, the only thing that was good about me is I worked in something I loved. But that's my fault. But it don't mean when the highest education people don't mean that they're going to be the richest. That's not true either. There's a lot of people that went to college that couldn't get a job out of college with the way the economy goes. That's a fact. They're stuck and buried in school loans, paying a ton of loans, and they're buried. So that don't make education helps. I encourage it every day to young people, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. The only thing we're guaranteed of in life that we all are going to do, I promise you, this is the only guarantee that anybody can honestly sit here and say, is we're all going to die someday. That's it. No other guarantee comes with anything. You think because kids are wealthy, grew up with wealthy and powerful families, that they're going to be perfect kids. That's not true. Because most of those rich parents then pay zero attention to their kids. They just feed them a bunch of money, and they're lost with their friends, and they do, some of the biggest drug addicts I have ever met in my life come from rich kids, powerful fathers, powerful mothers. That's true. Statistic wise, that's true. Because they got time on their hands, they're smart, so they breeze through school, but they don't have a family that loves them or pays any attention to them. They just bribe them every day and pay them money, send them off to boarding school. That's not love. So when people say you'll never make it, you're a bit poor, you're a lowlife, stop saying that, because you're wrong. Anybody could do anything they want and become anything they want if they try hard enough and believe in themselves. I believe in myself more today than I ever in my whole life, because I know the changes I'm making, and I know that I wake up every day hoping I accomplish something better each day. I don't wake up and say, well, what am I doing today? Have another scumbag day and just party? No, I don't do that anymore. I say, what didn't I learn that I should have learned 30 years ago that I better maybe do a little bit of studying on that? I talked to my daughter today, and I told her, I said, I want to just say I'm sorry again that I didn't learn to speak sign language fluently with you. And she said, Dad, I told you before, you're my best friend and I love you. And I go, she goes, yes, it would have been nice if you would have been fluent, but it's never too late, Dad. She said, even if I sit down with you every day for 10 minutes a day, that's all I need, she said. 10 minutes a day, I'll have you fluent, she says, in 6 months. And she says, I'm looking forward to that. And so am I. But to say that I couldn't communicate with my daughter and I'm a piece of garbage, and you're wrong. Because I care more about my family than most people. There's a lot of children out there that had no father. There's a lot of men out there that father 10, 15 kids with 10 different women. Don't do nothing but child support. They don't do nothing. I've never been like that. I love my children. I've made my share of mistakes. I could have been better at a lot of things. I chose not to be. And I let being an addict cripple me. I let an addict take away a lot of things from me. But it taught me a lot of valuable lessons. It taught me how to survive. The streets taught me how not to be afraid, how to get out of situations. And I'm now, all the things that I've done wrong, now I'm putting it all together now in my head, and I'm learning. Now I'm like, you know what? But it taught me to do this, and things are just coming naturally like a sponge. And a few people that do care, that knew me, they remind me, you're wrong. Look how better of a person you are. Look at all the struggles you went through, that you put yourself through. But no one fights better than harder than you. You get back. How many times you got back up and you don't give up? So you have a natural born leader in you, because you're a fighter. You don't let nobody put you down. You don't stay down. You get up. That's a leader. You want to be transparent. You want to have integrity. So everybody's entitled to their opinion, no matter what. Some people are just never gonna. There is true. There are people out there that never been in trouble with the law, ever, nothing, not even a parking ticket, that really frown on anybody that's got in trouble with the police. And there's a lot of people. A lot of those people are misguided. Though they believe in the system works 100%, and they believe the police system works 100%, or the court system works 100%. That's how naive they are, because they're so good and never broke the law that they really believe in what was in place with laws in the Constitution, which is a beautiful thing, because that's how it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, it's not how it is. It's not black and white. There's a lot of gray areas in a lot of areas. We know this to be true. And you feel for those people that have, I respect people like that never in not even a parking ticket. And really, you sit down and talk to people and how well they believed in government, how well they believe in the police, and how well, and you sit there and you know that, yeah, they're right. There are good politicians. There are good police officers. There are good at everything. But to think that the system is perfect, and thank God that they got this in place because this is what kept them to, no, they're wrong. I'm sorry. They're wrong. Because there's a lot of corruption in police. There's a lot of corruption in government. There's a lot of stuff that's that's gray areas. It's not that easy. A lot of these small towns, especially in Florida, they got the same judges for 25, 30 years that are presiding over cases. And they see sometimes the revolving door, the same guy come through every couple of years. And then they finally say, geez, I'm tired of looking at you. They don't look at the facts of the case. They just put him in prison for life. You know what? You're never going to learn. This is the 9th time I put you in prison. Goodbye. You're going for life. He had every evidence that they had no evidence to convict him, but he did it because he was biased, because he shouldn't have been in office that long. How are you going to give me any fair judgment on anybody by that happening? You can't. That's a big problem. Now, federal government, they can't tell any state what to do. That's a fact. I can't. A person as the president, he can't go to the government and say, you got to do it this way. It doesn't work like that. He has no say, jurisdiction-wise. He does not run the states. Commander-in-chief of the United States, federal. He runs the military. He's the jefe of the military. Okay? So every state has their own laws. Every state has their own political people in their states that are state jobs. You got governor, you got lieutenant governor, you got mayors in different cities, you got councilmen, you got aldermen. So a president can't do anything to tell them how to run their state. He could get on board and have a good rapport with all the governors and suggest things, but he can't tell them how to do anything. He's just powerless there, and that's the right way how it should be. But I think it's better to work together with everybody. If everybody works together, we accomplish more. If American people would love more instead of hate, if they would trust more, they would believe in God more, and be kind. It's free to help a senior lady walking past you that might be grumpy and might be cussing you for no reason. Open the door for her and let her into Walmart. It's free. If it's going to cost you 2 seconds, just because she's being a jerk, you don't got to fight back and cuss back or anything. Have a nice day, ma'am. Or just give someone a friendly smile. It's free. It's free. None of that costs nothing. Nobody. People that are kind like that, they don't ask for anything in return. And a lot of people are hateful. A lot of hate in this world. A lot of hate. And people think it's just with all the bad people, all the felons and all the drug addicts, and that's not true. Not true at all. See, one thing I learned is, especially you learn this, the one thing you can never do in prison is the reason why respect is so big there, or you got to just follow certain rules, because here's the bottom line. That guy that's been in prison for 5 or 6 years, who's been married for 25 years, all of a sudden he's calling home to talk to his wife, and some guy answers the phone. And he says, excuse me, who are you? Oh, is this John? Yeah. I'm just making hang on one second. What the hell's going on? John, I filed for divorce. I'm not going to be with you. I'm going to get married to that's my fiance. You should get the papers in prison. What about my kids? Well, John, I don't see the kids fit. You got another 10 years. You're a pretty bad criminal, and you frankly have done nothing for your kids. You're taking my kids? Now, you don't know that he got that phone call, and he's probably not in the right frame of mind. And that's how a lot of stuff breaks out in prison, because nobody shows respect. I don't know. You don't know what each person's going through. You don't know if the guy just went to court and he got life in prison, because they don't come running back in the jail cell. I got life. You just don't do certain things. If you know a guy's going to court, he's facing life. If he came back, you just got to show. You just got to follow certain rules. It's with anything. Rules are meant for a reason. Now, I'm a guy that hated rules. I'm not one that followed many rules in my life. And I was wrong for that. They're there for a reason. But I've changed so much and got more respect today than I did 30 years ago for certain things. And you know what? People come at me with the background of my family and some of my family that were good people and were worked for the city of Chicago police department. I didn't have a lot of respect for a lot of police. I don't have a lot of respect for police because why was I thinking because I've been on the criminal side and I just be thinking like a criminal? No, because I know if anybody's from Chicago, they'll know what I'm talking about, especially if you're from the city, Cook County. Cook County is the worst corrupt place in the United States. I don't care what anybody says. There's so much corruption everywhere between aldermen and congressmen, and it's bad. You could buy a judge. You got money to buy your way out of anything. You understand? And so people that are from there, the city, and if they got any people that were in law enforcement or any people that were hoodlums of the street, they know the real life every day what happens. And they know how BS when they listen to a politician up there lying his teeth through his teeth. They know. When Joseph Catalano came to the Dabbleverse, I don't think anybody liked me from day one. I come off like that. Two ways: either you like me, I'm either loved or hated. There's no in between with me. And I got to say that I lost my judgment. I used to be really spot on to just meet somebody or talk with somebody and know what type of person they are. I was very good at figuring out people, and I let my guard down many times. And I think over the years of doing drugs, it definitely done damage. And at the incident with the night that in question with my child, it changed me a lot. Where my sense of thinking was different. My judgment was off. So I let my guard down. And but the worst part is I let it keep happening. I want to help people. They want me to go on their shows, and I do. And I know right before I even say yes that they're really setting me up to go on the show. They're going to bring somebody on I don't like. They want me to be fueled, and they want to bring that money in. So they want me to be fucking triggered. This is what they're hoping for. But they don't want it to be natural. They don't want They don't want to come to me and say, "Hey, could you just act crazy for me?" Because they know nobody's going to buy it. So they set me up, and I keep falling for it. When I said to myself, "I'm not doing nobody's shows," I can't do that because I know they only want one thing, and everybody is the same way. The people that say they don't climb on my name, whether I'm a piece of garbage in your eyes or not, I made my way in the Dabbleverse. Whether it was being really liked or people just saw a character in me that is very easy, good to get money if they handle it. If they're good at what they do, they can make money off of me by making me look, bringing out the best in me. That don't do me no good. That just does them good. So my whole point is this: you could think whatever you want about me. It don't matter. I'm not dumb like you think I am. I'm not nobody's clown. And I won't roll over to anybody. But what I will do is I will be a better person for myself, first and foremost. And I will take this campaign a lot more serious. And I'll fight to get on the ballot. And I'll hope that I connect with the American people. And that as I learn and I bring points of views to you each week, things that are broken, not argue with people that think that they know everything and I know nothing because they just do it because they know they're going to get a reaction. Those days are over with. And I've been kind to a lot of people. And some of the ones that come at me, they say they're just light trolls and they're just having fun. They lie through their teeth so bad. Here's the problem. If you want to call me a liar or you want to say this about me, at least be accountable that you're a scumbag too and that you have one motive. Don't sit there and sugarcoat like you're better than me because you're not. You're not. And like I said, I'm not the guy to start trouble, but people say I'm just a tough guy behind a mic. I'm not. I have very, very bad capabilities of being very I could be very, 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 very bad or mean or fight very well if I keep letting that provoke me. People talk, but today I'm older and I have to just walk away from that being a child. But I promise you, I'm promising you as a friend that why would you want to provoke any bad on anybody, knowing that they could, you could bring them to that point. Some people are good at that. And my point is I take the bait and I'm not going to do that no more. But why would you even take a chance that someday you may run into that person? I see people the other day say, yeah, I'm not no badass, but I promise you, everything he says that nobody will do, I'm going to do it. He won't. He won't. He won't. He just won't. But he keeps saying to be tough in the chat room with all his friends. He won't. I promise you he won't. You want to know why? Because always in the back of his head, he's going to know, is this guy really legitimately psychotic? They don't know that. You don't know that. And I don't know not really if you are. That's the truth. I don't say anybody can't do anything, because I don't underestimate any human being. Because we're all capable of being to that point that we could come out and we could do some damage. So I always give everybody benefit of the doubt, and I always respect everybody with that. No one's better than me, and I'm not better than anybody when it comes to that. I might one day run into the wrong guy, and I might get my clock clean so good. But I understand that could happen. You people think it can't. That's on you. So let me get back to my speech. I want to get out of here. So from now on, I'm going to be more tailored to my what I'm going to talk about. One last thing. We are making the move to Patreon. Sorry about what happened yesterday. We never used it. It was a glitch. A couple of people started buying memberships. I just want you to know that you will get, I'm going to start doing tonight after this. I'm going to start transferring stuff on there, making stuff content that you might have not seen before. I'm going to transfer everything that Lou and I have ever done, and we're going to build it. And if we have to start from ground up, we will. But it will happen eventually. We'll find a market. We will. And let's just have fun, because Patreon is a lot better than YouTube. You're kind of like your own. You really have your own business, but they still will knock you too. So they still have strict stuff, like a lot of people have lost. So my whole goal is, after this candidacy, after the presidency, if I lose, if I win, and I might be tied up 8 years. But if I don't win, my original goal was I wanted to start a regular, real channel that I own. Build a website that I own. Have someone build me a website and go out and find my market and do my shows there, where I host it. I do everything. I don't got to worry about YouTube kicking. If we want to be naked on the air, we could do that with no repercussions. We're protected by then all the amendments that I don't have YouTube saying you can't do that. You can't do that. That's what the best way for us to go. We could be vile. We could use words and know we're just going into a character, but we don't have to police ourselves. That's what I generally have talked about lately with my partner. That's the way to go. And that's what I'm going to do. Because at $1,500, you can build a real nice website. And you can put all the stuff in there you need to go live. And you got no repercussions, because it'll be aired on there. It's no different to air it on YouTube or Rumble. We're not looking to use it for everybody. It'll be just ours for our show. And then we could do what we want. We don't have to worry about anything. I think that's the best way to go. It's a smart way to go. YouTube is just a platform. We own nothing. They take your channel. They take all your movies. You got to fight them to get your stuff back. You got no freedom here. They tell you what to do. What's the sense? If you can't be yourself, even if you're doing a character, if you can't take the character to full potential, if that character is going to be rotten and evil, and he's going to fight with people, and he's going to call you every name in the book, and he's going to get physical. If you can't even do the character right, what's the sense? If you're going to have censors, why? That's stupid. It makes no sense to me. Now, the people that got talent, they don't have that problem. Not all talent people make it. But then again, we're all on YouTube. So are they really that successful? I mean, they're making more money than me, making more money than you. But that don't mean they're successful. They're still not actors in the real world, got $1 million contracts. They don't have that. They're not radio personnel like Opie and Anthony were at one time, or Howard Stern. Nobody's done that. They all worked for people like that. So it's just YouTube. And I've taken it a little bit too serious and let a lot of people play me in the wrong way. What I don't like is people going around and saying, don't pay this guy this, don't give him that. Nobody has a right to stop someone from getting paid or even talking about that. If you're that rotten and that hateful, man, oh man, you need some help, man. If it bothers you that someone sends someone a $20 super chat or a $50 super chat or a $2 super chat, and you bitch about that and you lobby to go make sure nobody gets, that's pretty sad. You got a lot of time on your hands. A lot of time on your hands. But there's some people that are so negative. I don't have to give names. I don't want to get into it. But there's a few people that come at me every day. They got no positiveness in them at all. They are so negative about everything in their life because they failed in things that they don't want people to know they failed it. So they do it to feel better about themselves. That's the truth. That's a fact. So they bounce harder on somebody to make them feel better about their failed life. Because what's worse than failure is a guy that didn't go to school or a guy that went to school and got the education but failed. He's smart, but he failed. I think it's more worse for a guy that's got a lot of education and very intelligent and amounts to not much than a guy that was messed up his whole life and didn't care about nothing and was just an addict, a reckless person. I think it's a lot easier for him to be the idiot. But when it's someone that's educated and they really, they're educated enough that they could have been wealthy and they got a common job. I mean, that's more embarrassing than me being the addict and me not having no schooling behind me. Believe me, trust me, in the real world, you are looked upon as really a failure. You'll never admit that, but you are. I hate to tell you that you are. I'm expected to be a failure because I've done nothing. So it's like, okay, just another thing that Joe Catalano failed at. What else? He's been like that. Like we told him that in second grade. Principal says you can amount to shit. What was wrong? We were right. But a guy that or a lady or a guy that was educated, got a lot of background of education, that were smart, that person's going to be somebody. Someday they're going to be somebody, and they amount to nothing. They amount to nothing to be playing in the internet world with a common job, and they're very smart. So trust me, you're the failure, not me. You're the more embarrassing person than not me. I'm expected to have that, so it's expected. It wasn't expected from you. You should think about that. You really should. Because in the real world, I think more people think you're the failure piece of shit than I am. I'm sorry to say that, but I believe that I believe in a poll, you would lose the poll. Because there's nothing you could brag about that you're really much better than me when it comes to what you do and how you make your money or what you do or how you go on the internet. There's nothing you can do that you're no different than me. There's not. Don't say you have integrity because you don't. Don't say you have honesty because you don't. Don't say you got more talent because you really don't. There might be 5 people in this whole Dabbleverse that got really talent. And those are the ones that show it by making the money they make. And that's it. And then yet they're still failures because the farthest they finally got talent, it took them to go to YouTube to get talent, to find a bunch of us idiots that will give them, they figured a way how to get us to throw money at them. When I'm a chatter, I've given big super chips. I've gave money. So I'm a sucker just like everybody else. But we're supposed to be all fun. It's not no fun no more. People are looking to hurt people, and people are looking to demoralize people and pick people out, chop people off of the arms and the legs and the feet and the hands and the eyeballs and say, you're scum, you don't belong here. Nobody. It's one thing I stayed strong with will ever tell me what I can and can't do. No one will run me off my channel. Nobody. Nobody will tell me, get the hell out of here. I don't care. Nobody will do that. And anybody else that does run because they don't want to deal with it, don't let them run off because they did it. Make sure you leave on your own terms. But the gall of some people to think they can do that, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But why don't you go look at your own life? Seems like you were married once, you're divorced. Why don't you evaluate what kind of a father you were? Why don't you evaluate why you got divorced? Why were you educated, but yet you got a shit job? Why? Well, don't just look at Joey C as the dumbest guy in the world. Evaluate your own life first and think your life. And maybe you may have some understanding, but usually if you're too smart, you got no common sense. And if you got no common sense, you got no street smarts. So if you don't have those two, you're one of those people that you don't think outside the box. Everything's got to be logical to you. That's one thing I can say. That's a fact. So you'll never think outside the box because everything's logic to you. So that makes you better than everybody and smarter than everybody. But you're really not. You got the game because you're smart. You're not a talk to talk. But if you think that people like me don't see through you, that you're really just a kiss ass and want it worse than anybody, come on. You make it too obvious. My mistake is when it's pointed at me is I feed into your bullshit. You're speaking of the people that come after me, and I let you set me off in those places so you can sit there and laugh your ass off. I've watched some people laugh at some things that they were talking about me, and I'm like, you don't hear nobody making a comment that was funny, and they're up there laughing, rolling, and I'm like, where the hell was that funny? Boy, they got a weird sense of humor. I mean, the dumbest things they say that cracked them up, and their whole chat room is like not saying one word about it that was funny, and you're going, what does he find in that? What's the humor in that? But he's bawling his eyes out with laughter, and you're like, wow. You know, when Lou and I say we leave the microphone, we don't do nothing. We don't forget it's over. I don't think about what I said to somebody. I don't think about if I went on somebody's show or if I ripped a female or I yelled at somebody or I screamed or I cussed or I fucking, you know, I blew up. But I don't think about it. I get set off because I'm a dumbass because I let you set me off. I wasn't like that for a lot of my years. Like I said, I made a big change in my life about 10 years ago that I don't know. I looked at things a lot differently, you know, and for like the last 10 years that I was an addict, I wanted to quit every day. Like, I really wanted it. I just couldn't. I tried, but I couldn't. But then I said to myself, man, oh man, you're destroying your body. You're destroying your health. You know, you're not going to be around for anybody. So if you plan on doing some good things in your golden years with your grandkids, you better change your ways. And I did. When I put the drink down, when I stopped drinking, and that was a long time ago, 2008, when I officially stopped drinking. Now, I'm not saying since 2008, I probably had legitimately 4 drinks since 2008. 4, if that's too many, if I had 4, at least 4. And when I may drink, if I had a full bottle of liquor and I drank out of the bottle and I drank a half, to me that's considered one drink. It's not that I had multiple drinks. That day I finished a half bottle. That's considered I drank one time. Okay, you guys think, oh no, you drank 15. No, I don't look at it like that. So I knew that alcohol wasn't bad for me. I never smoked cigarettes, and you know what? Believe it or not, that's what has saved me to able to get myself. If I had cigarettes in the play of my life, listen. One thing I'm going to say that a lot of people will guess right about. If I were to continue at the pace I was going, and I started on program 10 months ago, and people are coming at me, exercise by itself cannot make you lose weight. Anybody that believes that, changing your eating habits and exercise still is not enough to make you lose rapid weight. I promise you that. You have to dedicate and there's every weight loss program out there has failed miserably with most people. And it's true. When you use certain things to lose weight and you get off it, it's easier to put the weight on. Usually you'll come back twice as hard. Well, I promise you this. I've always liked to be at a nice weight, and I let myself go because I didn't care. But when I woke up in the mirror and I saw myself and when my feet started swelling, and people were saying, you better start taking it serious. And I laughed and I said, nah. But when I knew it was it, and people were saying he's going to die this year, you were right. I would have not made it through this year. 100% right, I would have been gone. Whether it would have been April, May, sometime in 2026 was my demise. There's no doubt in my mind. The pace I was going, I would have had a massive heart attack or stroke. I'd have never recovered from it. And if I had a massive stroke, I could have been a vegetable, and I would want to not be on the tubes and live on machines. I would definitely hope they would take me off and let me die. I would not want to try to live to see if there's going to be hope, because I don't want to live like that. If I have a massive heart attack, I'm going to be gone. So I had to change. I had to really want it. And I did. So I finally found a doctor, and I get called an addict. Let me tell you something. You can't just do it by exercise. If you think that, and or you just think because it'll fuel me. So it's a shame on me that I bit into it. Exercise by itself. Many people tried to exercise, have not done nothing. Didn't help them at all. It's not a proven fact just by itself. Does not work by itself. My brother's a health nut and got a body like The Rock. And it does not just mean exercise or pumping iron. Okay? Eating habits are good. But most diets are full of crap, that you can eat the food you like in life if you do it in moderation. When you get older, sugar's your worst enemy. Starch is your worst enemy. All you got to learn is to just change a few things. You can still have pizza and pasta. You can still have steaks. You just gotta. You can't eat like a pig. You can have 10 slices of pizza. You can have one, maybe two. You can have a pound of pasta. You got to have just a little bowl of pasta. You can still do that. You want to have a soda? Don't have 15. Have 1 or 2 a day. You eat a ton of candy bars? Well, and you have to have it? Well, just have 1 a week. Just tease yourself a little bit. You could be like that. But when you smoke, that's it. And that's the one thing that has been in my favor. I never smoked cigarettes. And people say, but you smoke drugs. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. Drugs affect the brain and different parts of your body. Cigarettes, nicotine fucks you up bad, gives you cancer quick in your lungs, and it's just bad. Cigarettes are bad for you. But yet, the government allows Surgeon General to have commercials and sell cigarettes and tell you how good it is. Because they pay for the to get that cigarette on the market. And they pay healthy. They give money to organizations and to the government to make sure that they get promoted but it's the number one killer in the world. Not street drugs, cigarettes are. And it's legal because the government allows it to be. Because they put that little thing on the Surgeon General, little note they put on all the cigarettes, and they think that's right. They put a stamp on it and they're good. Yeah. They put all kind of chemicals in our food. God gave us enough food on earth to eat naturally. Seafood. There's a reason why certain countries never gain any weight and they live a long time, because they use the natural what's supplied on earth, and they eat that. They don't eat nothing processed. They don't eat nothing. They pump everything up so it won't go bad. The minute you open a loaf of bread, the air hits in there, then a couple of days later it molds. But certain foods are pumped with so much chemical so it could stay in the freezer for a year. And that's a fact. Over the years, what really causes everything is all the bad foods we eat. If you think about it, all the bad rotten foods we eat, all those foods we like, doing 50, 55, 60 years of that, that's what's causing all the cancer. It really is. And they keep doing it. We're the most obese country out of all the countries, America. We're the worst. There's so much obesity here. Now, at 270, we're almost 270, it was 268, same thing. I was declared morbidly obese. Now, I've worked hard for 9 months, and I do change my habits in eating. I'm proud of myself. I don't even, and when someone's trying to want to get explanation of a drug, what does it do? It does. It stops it stops the hunger. And the worst thing it does, it stops if you do try to eat something that you used to like, you get sick. You want to throw up. Like if you ate McDonald's every day and you get on this program and you take a bite out of McDonald's, you're like, oh my God, man, it's horrible. That's what it does to you. It's like if you were a guy that ate a whole pizza, you get through one slice and you're like, oh, I can't eat no more. You just can't. Now I'm on the highest dose. Someone asked how long but listen, I went through every dose in 2-month increments. So let's go back and see how many months I've been on the program. I started out with 2.5. 0.5, 0.5. After the 5, I went to 7.5. After the 7.5, I went to 10, 12.5, 15. So 2 months. So 2 months. The 5 was that's 4 months. 7.5, that's 6 months. The 10, that's 8 months. 12.5, that's 10 months. I'm on the third week of the 15. 10 months and 3 weeks I've been on the program. Now I got a 3-month supply of the 15. Now, so I heard people say it works the best at the beginning. Not for everybody. I didn't lose weight my first 3 months. It didn't work at all for me. I lost it in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th month. My part of the 8th month. Then I stopped. It just stopped. It's like your body starts dropping so much, and then you got to retrain your body again. And then I wasn't worried about gaining anything back because as long as I was doing the program, but I had come to a halt of losing weight the rest of the 8th month and my 9th month. Then I lost the last 8-9 pounds that I wanted to be to get to 200 in my 10th month. I think I might have made my goal of under 200. I got out of the shower today, but I had my shoes on. I put my dress shoes on, my dress slacks, and I had my watch on, and my phone was in my pocket, and I weighed at 203 with everything on. So I'm pretty sure I had about 4 pounds of stuff on. So I'm pretty sure I'm under 200. I can't swear by it, but I bet I'm at 199. I was at 200 the other day, and I haven't heard anything bad to eat. I mean, let's face it, the facts were the truth. I was drinking 15 cans of Coke a day. I was eating 12, 15, 20 candy bars a day. I really was. Okay. I can tell you this, going for 10 candy bars a day. Let's just say 10 candy bars a day, 30 days. That's 300 candy bars a month. And since I've been in this program, I average maybe 3 or 4 candy bars a month. I get a craving every once in a while, and I have to have one. I got a few of my favorites. I do. I went from 15 cans of Coke, maybe more sometimes. Sometimes if I ran out of can of Coke and there was a 2-liter, then I might dust the 2-liter through the night and doing it all at weird hours and then getting hungry and going to the 24-hour drive to a McDonald's at 4 o'clock in the morning and eating like the craziness. And I started swelling up. And when I got water on my lungs and retaining water, that's when I knew it was serious. That's when I knew was, and a couple of people that are in the medical field that was, when they saw my foot, because I did show it on live. I mean, I got a text from certain people saying, "You better start taking it serious. You're gonna die. No kidding aside, you're gonna die." It got serious. But the minute I swelled up my feet, my wife said, "That's it. Like, we're going." And then I tried to pull a couple works by being in a coma, which we know that was bullshit. But I could barely walk upstairs without being out of breath. I lost interest in a lot of things and things that I didn't want to lose interest in because there's certain things in my life that I love to do and I've done them all the time. And I didn't want that factor to go away. That was another thing that brought me back to say, get your ass together. Because I'm just, that's one of my favorite things to do. So, and I got a great partner for that. So I had to do that for that first and foremost. I'm sorry, that's sick, but I did. But the truth is, I did it for myself most of anything. Before I did it for anybody, I did it for myself. But I thought about my grandkids, and I'm like, but I'm leaving. I messed up so much that I don't have nothing to leave anybody, which is what is really how normal life works. You got to leave. Your grandparents, they work hard. They teach their kids to be better than them, and you want to have something to hand back to children. And I'm like, well, I always took care of what I had to. I've always made sure if they needed money, I give them all everything I got. If one of my kids call or my grandkids, I'll give it whatever I got. But I got no emergency funds put away. I got nothing for anything if an emergency happens, right? So I count on my check that comes, and and then I'm officially legally at retirement age in 12 months. So. And I'll get I'll get a good Social Security because I'll get decent, but it's in today's society, it's nothing. It's garbage. But I'll be all right. But you should only be all right if you got a nest egg put away. And if now that I'm getting myself healthy, in 10 years, I'm going to need to rely on a savings program, or I'm going to need to have something put away. So is it too late? It's not. There's a rule that a lot of parents might have told them. We've all heard it. Pay yourself first. It's been a big rule, been around for 100 years. They always say you should pay yourself first. First thing you should do every paycheck is pay yourself first. Take 20% and put it away and forget about it. If I done that from 20 years old on, I already figured out I have $4.8 million right now. If I did that, if I took 20% and put it away, I'd be sitting on $4.8 million and I would have nothing to worry about. I sure wouldn't be on YouTube trying to grift my way onto to make a couple dollars a day. That's what I did to my future by just not doing that simple thing, pay myself. It's a very simple thing. And I'm sure a lot of your parents, because let's face it, the generation before us, we had pretty smart parents. They were hardworking people. They might not be the most educated people, but they were smart. They were cheap wads. They didn't go out and spend money in restaurants. They saved every penny. I know my grandparents did. They saved every dollar, every penny, everything. Because they knew someday you're going to need that. And they try to teach that to you. And who listens? Who listens? You think I listened to anybody when I was a kid? Oh, you're kidding me. You think I listened to anybody when I was in my 20s? Hell no. And I had opportunity after opportunity. You don't have to make a lot of money to do this. People think you've got to be, that only works for the rich. It does not. You could make the bare minimum. If you put 20% away from a young age and you got 45 years and it goes into the right place, you got money. You'll have plenty of money. So it doesn't mean it works for everybody that follows that. And I'm sure a lot of us were told that we didn't do it. I know I was one of them and I never did it. But it's not too late. It's too late for me to capitalize and have the big money because I let 40 years go by. I'm 60 and 20 to 40 years I didn't do it. But if I do it now from the time I'm 60 till I'm 70, I'll be okay. I'll be able to sustain myself to live another 15 years on what I have invested, which is what I'm looking for in my life. So don't be fooled that I know how you're supposed to live. I know how you're supposed to how you have to believe in yourself and how you have to do certain things in life that just work. There's things been implemented in life that are there for a reason. I understand that. I chose to not follow rules. I chose not to give a care about it because you know what? I never thought this day would come. That was my biggest problem. I never wanted to look into the future and say, I'm never going to be, I'm never going to live that there. Who cares? That was my logic in life. I never thought I'd live this long. I really never thought I did. I never thought I'd live to 60. I never thought I'd be here. Because of the wild and reckless life I lived, I never expected to be here. I don't know. I always had I felt like an angel on my shoulder. That when I stepped into some bad stuff, it always worked out if I didn't panic. And when I got arrested for things, I didn't mock the court with my dress. One thing I took pride in is how I dressed. When we traveled in baseball, you had to wear a sports coat. I bought the best of everything. Okay. And you could tell when people are wearing dress clothes if they're cheap or not. Okay. And that's the one thing that I always love to do is dress up. And I like to have nice clothes. Nice clothes. I mean, my slacks that I got on probably cost more than probably some of your people's cars. I'm just kidding. But I dress always with good clothes. And people say that there's impossible. I don't have that. Let me tell you something. One thing I'll say about my father, he might have not been there, but that man was impeccable how he took care of himself. Manicure every week, hair perfect, wore the best of everything. Never paid anything for his kids, but he was dressed to the nines. And I always pick that up because Italians are like that. We like to dress sharp. That's one thing I'll give any Italian. We're sharp dressers. We care. We do. We really do. A lot of us are vain. A lot of us do it because we want to think we're better than people. I'll give that. I'll give that to the people. I did it because it made me feel good. Because I was always told first impressions go a long way. Your first impressions go a long way. And the only reason I survived a job as long as I did is because I got good at it. I was very good at what I did behind the scenes. But I came close to losing a lot of jobs because of my mouth. I can tell you this. When I left my big league job, when the big leagues all started to really roll with big salaries, and I decided to leave, I could never get my way back in a full-time job there. I left. I made the bad mistake. People were dying to come up because those guys get those jobs. They don't leave. They die in those jobs. It's a dream come true to work in a major league locker room or NFL locker room or basketball. It really is because you just don't know if you do your job good. You're going to get so much money under the table. It's unbelievable. Players are going to throw you money just for doing. They pay you hundreds of dollars just to run across the street to get them a newspaper. This is what these because they got so much money. This is what they do. They throw you stacks of money just for being kind and going down to the 7-Eleven, get them some dip. I'm telling you, it's a fact. I'm 13, 14 years running around Wrigley Field, and players would give me $100 bills to go get something. And back in those days, if you're from Chicago, you know about Yum Yum Donuts. Yum Yum Donuts. So you got McDonald's on Clark Street, and across the street was Yum Yum Donuts, right in front of the Wrigley. It was the same lot the players had where the players parked their cars. They had a small little lot in the old clubhouse. It's the same lot Yum Yum Donuts was in, and a lot of players wanted breakfast there. And I would go down the clubhouse stairs, through the concourse, out the security guard door, Yum Yum Donuts to the window, order what the player wanted, and I kept the change every time. Here's your change. Put that away. Every time I was sent with a $100 bill at 13 years old, and I used to run 10 times a day. No bullshit. Or people wanted hot dogs from across the street. The guy in the corner at Edison and Sheffield. It was a bar there. He had a window. He served the best hot dog. And they were $1 a buck a hot dog. Players would throw you hundreds. Go get 15 hot dogs for the whole bullpen with one hot dog. You come back, you spend $50, keep the change. I was just throwing money in my drawer. I didn't even get time to spend it. But I should have been smart then. If you got the ability to make it as a teenager, I should have put money away. And I had some things that I could have got involved in, legitimate investments that were brought to me over the years. I just flat right done it. But by then I was a drug addict, and I couldn't fathom of taking $5,000 away from my drug money to go buy taxi medallions in Chicago. Were cheap at one time. Do you know what a taxi medallion costs in New York and Chicago today? $1 million. You can't get them. They don't just give them. There's a lottery every year. So there's only so many a year you can get. But if you bought them when you got them cheap, you didn't have to be in the cab business. As long as you loaned that medallion that goes on a car, you would rent those medallions to the drivers. They come with the car, or a company that didn't have, like here in Florida, they didn't have medallions like New York. So they had permits, but they were valuable. They weren't expensive medallions. But there was a yellow cab and a United cab in Tampa, and there are only so many permits that they give to each company. The bigger companies get the majority, but the smaller guys that were able to get it, the bigger companies wanted to buy those permits from them and put them out of business. I'll buy your company. They didn't want the phone number of the customer. They wanted the permits, and they took your cab company off, made it into their yellow cab United, and they bought the permits. And then if you wanted a driver, they rent that permit back that you own that you sold to them. And then Uber changed all that. They took out the tax. Tampa used to be a taxi authority. That's gone. Wiped them off the face. Uber came in. Uber changed Las Vegas, which I never thought would ever happen. Because the Nevada cabs, those drivers were on a 50-50 split. They didn't pay for the rent for the car. They got 50% of the meter. That meter always had to be wrote down, the meter. And they watched it like a hawk. And I think they got to the point where they put cameras in all the cabs in Las Vegas on the Nevada side. Nevada has an orange car. That's the Nevada side, which is where the gaming commission is and the taxi commission is for Nevada, and they're strict. So drivers did that. They didn't. Me, I was a guy that rented my car from the company. I pay a daily rate or a weekly rate, and that covers dispatch service. I was responsible for my gas, and I would just make my own business cards up, and I knew that the money was getting as many airport customers. So I worked for so many companies, and I kept giving my card. Because they're gonna call the company anyhow and say, if they like you, can you send so and so? And the dispatcher say, listen, next time get his personal number. That's what they tell you. You're gonna want to build your own clientele, give them your number. We got no time to be your personal dispatcher. So I just gave my cards out to everybody, and I mean, because I like to talk and I make people laugh and people, I was always talking. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. A lot of cab drivers you get in, try to talk to them, they're nasty to you. Or you get the cab driver that's a bar cab driver who's a fat guy that never takes a shower and he just picks up drunks. Those guys can't do airport car. They can't do car service. So I did black car too. I drove black car. I rented the black card. Black card is the same way. You paid $100 a day for the car. They give you a Cadillac, a sedan. You paid them $100 and gas. So you had to make $140 a day before you got $1. And people say, but it's so busy, it's easy. It's not easy because your cab driver works 12 to 16 hours a day, every day, until you build a clientele up. I built so many clients. I had over 300 customers, flat rated them to the airport. They call me from Canada. They had places here. They'll call me when they're coming in for the winter, and they only wanted Joe. I had little ads in all these little, back then, in all these little places in Florida that had a little neighborhood, local, little newspaper kind of like thing, and I ran an ad in the back. $30 flat rate from Oldsmar, $30 flat rate from here. And I got so much business. The best advertising for me was a little old lady that I was kind to. Little old lady that went way out of my way to, and you're not supposed to go in the terminal and pick them up because you can't leave the cab. It's the same thing like when people pull up, you can't park, they chase you away. Well, if I could drop off to Tampa Airport, but I wasn't a permitted car. So if I got caught picking up the customer at the airport and they saw me, the taxi police, which are just taxi police in Tampa, were just regular Tampa police officers. They were just assigned to that unit. They could arrest you. You're making it an illegal pickup. So the rule of thumb was they made a deal with Pinellas cabs, the Pasco cabs. They drop off the customers, let them give the number to the Tampa company so they can bring them back. Screw that. Why would I give them my customer? So you got two choices. You're going to get caught, but I'm going for my customer. I'm going to take the chance, right? No, I didn't have to. Because I as dumb as you think I am, and this is what I'm trying to, it all leads up to that I fight for what I believe in. And if I'm elected president, I'm going to fight. I'm going to get up every single day from the White House, and I'm going to fight the fight, and I'm going to be in there trying to get things changed and done the right way. We know what's broken. We know it's got to be fixed, and we know what it takes to do it. You got to have people on board. You got to have Congress people that that are going to take that in there to get looked at, to get it voted on. We know that, right? And then then it's got to go past through another, and then it's got to become a bill. Then the president that gets passed, it becomes a law. And then what happens? The president signs off on it. People think when the president vetoes something, a president can veto anything he wants. 90 days later, they still can get it because they can override him after 90 days. I believe it's 90 days. So yes. So it's in the best interest of the president to try to be in the best working relationship with Congress and Senate. But it don't always work like that. A president, don't get me wrong, he's powerful. And if they would all just work for the people and understand that their job is for the American people, not for themselves, not for their rich friends. I thought Trump was the greatest thing that ever happened. Boy, did I jump in too early. He's a mess. Talking about now, I think I was watching him live today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. He's letting people know when he thinks the gas prices are going to go down. If you knew what they really pay in oil, there should be no hike anyhow. Every time there's a panic, they use that card. Oil went up when it didn't. And the taxes that are charged on a gallon of gas is ridiculous. Do you know how much it costs for a gallon of gas in Venezuela? Do you know you can fill your car up a big tank, a 50-gallon tank for like $15? It's like 20 cents a gallon in Venezuela. There's no taxes. But we don't embark with them. We don't trade with them. They're on the list, the bad list with us. They're like Cuba was. And we know usually when we're going to war, the Bushes went to war for one thing. They wanted to rule all the oil. It's all about the oil in the ground. It's all about the oil in the earth. America wants to control that oil. What happens though that 20 years from now we have no gas-fueled cars on? Because I believe we're not going to have none. I believe we're going to have all electric cars, which is supposed to be safer for the economy, right? It's more healthier for the economy, better for the pollution, better for the air, right? Makes sense to me. It will get to that. AI, people want to say it's dumb, it's stupid. It's already replacing not one person. It's already replaced in the hundreds of thousands. AI has already replaced people in corporations. So if you think AI is not going to be the future, and if you think AI is not here to stay, you better reevaluate that. And you better maybe get savvy in learning it, at least get a little knowledge of it. One thing I'll say, I'll be ready for AI. I didn't like it when it first came out because I didn't understand it. And most of us don't understand things. You don't understand things. Anytime someone presents someone that you think is a dumbass already, and you think that he doesn't make sense, you know damn well when I'm hitting real stuff that's happening in the American people. I watch the news, I follow stories, and see what the American people are. You know I'm gets right, but you got to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's wrong. I'm not. I'm an American citizen just like you. I see. It doesn't take someone a brainiac to see what's broken. It doesn't take a brainiac to see what they're not doing and what they're doing. We can see that. Anybody can see that. They don't care because they're rich and they don't care. They're in office 4 years, 8 years. They don't care. They go on their merry life. They don't care. I want to care. I'm not in this for any gain, for any power trip. I'm not in this to become rich. I'm not in it for none of that. I never ever slated myself to be a wealthy person anyhow. So I don't think of money like you think I do. Yes, I can hustle and I can I'll always be able to make $1 and survive. I can do that easily. I can roll out of bed and make $20, $30, $40 a day easily every day without even doing nothing, just by doing common stuff that's legal. I have the brains to do that, to survive. I have great instinct, but I'm a fighter, and this system is broken. And when you say, what are you going to do? What can you do? I'm going to fight, and I'm going to stay on them, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to see. When I see a budget, a prison reform budget, and let me tell you something. I got what every president is. People that's already been in place. I understand what's already in place. I understand how many presidents done prison reform. But when I show you the results of what they've done, Bill Clinton did prison reform to put more people tougher sentences. He didn't do no rehabilitation whatsoever. All he did was make everybody have tougher sentences. He didn't care what the crime was. He just did that. President Trump, First Step Act, a little bit better than most presidents, but he didn't follow through. Obama did some things, but it failed. Crime's still worse. If you think the country will not be a better place if crime was down, you guys need all to go to a doctor right now. You think I want to just because in my past I was a criminal, I want to let criminals out? No. The people that deserve to be there, we're gonna make it tougher for those people. We're gonna make better jails for them. They don't deserve to get any program. But believe it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, and I know a lot of you could understand, a lot of you that were good working people who got in a car accident and the doctor put you on some type of pain medication and then all of a sudden took you off and you weren't ready and you're freaking out. I promise you, you'd be lying right now if you said you quit cold turkey. You're going to lie to yourself and you're lying to me and you're lying to everybody else in the chat room. I promise you, you went out and you start scoring drugs on the street. I promise you, if you say you didn't, anybody got hooked on anything that was a painkiller. If you're sitting there saying I quit it, you're calling you a liar. You went on the street, you start scoring, which led you into spending money, and then when you didn't have money, you did whatever you could to get the money. Whatever you did, some people went out and they did sexual acts. Some people went out and robbed people, but you all wound up getting a record and ruining your life. But you were a good person. You come from a good family. You were a decent father. You were a great husband. And you lost your way because our society allows it to happen. The doctors get a little panicky. They write anything they want in the beginning, but then they think that you can quit cold turkey, but they know they can't. You know, if somebody has been on Xanax for even more than a year, they can't just quit cold turkey. They could die. They could have a seizure and die. It's one of the toughest drugs to come off of. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, and you could be sitting, I don't care what the chat room is saying. If you're saying that I'm nuts and I'm crazy, you're wrong. I know about these things. I know how tough it is to quit drugs. I know what drugs do to people. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of ex-addicts out there, or a lot of addicts that want help, that when I start talking to them, that are voters, and when they see a guy that's going to get up out of bed every day and fight for them, for the same things that they hate the government for, and they know without a doubt, without fail, I'm going to be true blue to them on that. I'm not working for any personal gain for me. I don't work if I get elected. I work for the American people. So I owe them for electing me to fight for them every day, to get up every day. I'm not immune to hard work. I worked my whole life. Okay? Because I've done a few things that some of you people think makes me a scumbag. You have no character. You have no way of judging anybody because you're judging. Most of you people that judge hard because you're hiding something in your life, and you know I'm right. You're hiding your own pain and your own misdoings by going harder on somebody so it makes you feel better. That is a coward. That's a coward. You're not a man. You're a coward. I'm sorry to say that, but you're a coward. Do you think it's right that a pedophile gets released after 5 years because they think he's some mental defect in his head? They let 3 to 5 years if he's a sicko that's got all kinds of thousands and thousands of little kids' pictures in the computer, and he's a sicko and he gets off on that. He's okay after 5 years? He's not. He's a menace to society that wants to do things to little kids. Put his ass away so he'll never think that again. Don't let him come back out to a computer. But let's put the drug dealer away who just did it to survive and give him life in prison. That makes it fair. That's the fair way we do it. We do it that way. Because he's a drug dealer, he's a scumbag automatically. Now, if he was dealing fentanyl and people were dying, then yes, he deserves to have more than 5 years, more than 10 years. But if he's just an average guy selling weed, selling cocaine, a little bit of time, and made mistakes, but this good guy, he never sold the kids. He was just good at seeing supply and demand on the street because he's a street guy. He sees that. He's wrong. He's breaking the law. He should be punished. No doubt in my mind. You're punished. You broke the law. But should he get life in prison? We're backwards. Nobody in the right mind could even justify giving someone like that a life sentence. If nobody died from him, he never harmed anybody, and he just gave it to the people that are going to go out and rob and hurt people to get it anyhow. Backwards. We're backwards. But let's feel sorry for the pedophile guy who's sick-minded, and he's got a bunch of thousands and thousands of naked little girls at 7 years old, or boys. Let's feel sorry for him. That's the things I want to change. Things that I know and been around and seen. Let me tell you something. A chomo, that's what they call him in prison. See, can a regular president go and sit with anybody American that's normal, that's been in trouble, that's an addict, and sit there and know what they're going through? I feel their pain because I lived their pain. I got so much pain that I've lived that has made me such a better person with all the trauma I had and all the dumb mistakes I made me who I am. It made me into a real man. It made me into a leader. I've never followed anybody. Always been a leader. I've made a lot of dumb choices, but every time I made the choices, I learned. And I learned, and I learned. I don't treat people bad. I treat people with respect. I really do. If you know me, if you met me, you know I'm a pretty decent guy. And the ones that say that I'm a scumbag, and if they see me, you ain't going to do nothing. You're not going to do nothing. Stop saying you're going to be different. You will say you're not, because you're too much of a coward to even show your face or show your real name. That right there sells you down the toilet that you're a coward. If you're in that chat room and you're being a bold guy and you're going to know your mouth to do it, it's because you're a coward. You'll never show your face. You'll never get in someone's face like me. Never. You never will. You pray every day, I hope I really never meet that guy. I promise you, from the very first time I stepped into the very first show I went to, I had so much threats, so many threats that people were going to wait. When I walked through, they were going to grab me and beat my head in. And the first person that one of the guys that showed me jumped up, he was sweating and wanted to take a picture of me. He couldn't believe he met me. Want to know if it was okay if he talked to me. Where did I ever get the impression that I don't want to talk to people? I was going to be nasty to people. That's what really happens. And that's a fact. And you know I'm telling the truth there because most of you guys have been to many events. But it's Joey C. So we made him what he is, and he's going to stay that way. Who do you think you are? If you're going to be like that in the internet, be like that to me in real life. Then I have some respect for you. And then we can make some headway. I don't ever think anybody's not capable that makes threats on the internet. I still think in the back of my head, maybe they are psycho enough to come and find me and put a gun in my head. I give you that respect. I don't ever underestimate anybody. because anybody's capable of doing bad. All I'm saying is this. I got just as good of a chance as anybody that's going before to run for president again this time. I got one thing they don't have. It's my clutch card. Is I'm being very transparent. I've experienced things that the American people, most American people, average American people have been through. I feel their pain. Why is the rent still too damn high? Simple things like that someone found that the American people were so disturbed about got them into office. They had no clue what they were doing, but they knew how to tap into the emotions of American people. And then they did good. They did good. The job worked out good for them because they had the people around them that made sure of that. You think if I get in office that all the people that are going to work at the White House are going to let me do anything stupid? It's on them too. It's just as much. They're going to go to prison if I do something wrong, and they're involved. They're going to tie them to be a co-conspirator. So they're not going to put themselves in prison. They're going to make sure they protect me. You know, I don't want to sit here and trash anybody. I don't want to sit here, but you guys know the people that you go along. You feel really strong when someone's got me when they're fighting with me on the internet, and you always shake their side, and then you try to sell me how they're a real nice guy. You really should let them be in your life. They're not a nice guy. When they sit there and lie and say they're just trying to bust my balls, they're not. They truly are not. Just like my chat is going so fast right now, whatever's in there, I'll be accused that someone bought views. I've never seen a chat room go that fast. I've seen chat rooms go that had thousands of people didn't even move. I'm talking legitimate channel. So that theory about the chat's not moving, it's bought views, is stupid. My chat just moves so fast, I don't even know how many people are here. I don't even know. I'm looking at my screen here where I'm in it, but I looked over to the right a minute ago and I saw that chat rolling fast. But I'm a scumbag. Okay, that's fine. Of course, the person that wants to sit down and challenge me, he's a fucking history major. Even if I was knowledgeable, he still wins because he knows at the back of his hand because that's what he lived for. And I don't have to bait him because it proves nothing. He's not nothing in the world that I'm trying to go into. And he's not a nice guy. He's got all you guys fooled. I only went to the thing to be you because I wanted to win. No, you went over there because you can't. You're obsessed with me. And you love to make me look bad. You have no compassion for anybody's heart. You have no compassion for anybody's soul. You're a failed human being with all your education, my friend. You're failed at you're more common than I am. And that right there, you should be ashamed of yourself when as educated as you are. And what you desperately seek for approval with the people you want to seek approval with. You're nobody, you're not special. And you're educated, but you think you are. That doesn't sink in your head. It doesn't sink in your head because you won't let it because you're a narcissist and you're a negative person. You are. Of course you're going to beat me in history. You were a history major scheduled to be a history teacher. What do you think? It takes a rocket scientist to figure that out? I passed the Constitution 8th grade. I would have went to high school. I just didn't care about it. I didn't care to plan it in my head for a lifelong thing. At one time, I knew all the amendments. I knew everything. I didn't care. I polluted my body with so many drugs in my life that every day it gets better and better for me to think clearer. And things come back to me. When I tell a story, I'm pretty consistent if I told a story 4 or 5 times. I might have been a little bit tweaked a little bit or might have made something I forgot. But that makes me a liar. Let me tell you something. The best part of that I love is I can prove every theory or everything I said that they say is not true. I can. I have all the receipts for my life. I just say, fuck it. It's more fun to just let them think that. I don't want to be mean to people and make them look ridiculous and that they love this stab over so much and make the people turn on him. And to say that you're a fucking douchebag. Because it'll crush a guy like him. He would literally cry. Without the dabbovers, he would cry. Legitimately would cry. I'm a scumbag because I did drugs But the guy telling me was a fucking addict worse than me. At least 5 out of 10 of them. I'm a scumbag because I'm a felon, but a couple people that came in hard, they were felons themselves. You see what the picture is? You're doing it because you're guilty of your own life. At least I'm a man enough to talk about it. I'm showing my face. I'm telling my name. I'm learning from my mistakes. He questions me with all the time the same shit. I will not debate you, not because I can't. It's because it'd be no value to me doing a debate with you. Zero value for you to get your laugh. I'm not going to hand you another laugh. Because even if I knew all the answers, you're still going to be better than me because you're a history teacher. We're going to slate to be a history. So I'm not going to give you that. Stop thinking I am. Stop thinking I'm going to come on and talk about you every day. You're nobody special, just like I'm nobody special. Live your life, man. Have your fun with the people that you think are your friends and enjoy yourself. Get off my dick. Because it's really starting to get really pathetic. It really is. You really are looking pathetic. And I'm telling you that from a man to a man, if you could understand that. I don't think you understand being a real man. I really don't. I don't think that sinks in your head. I really don't. I really don't think it does. Evaluate yourself why you're divorced. What problems you had with your wife. Don't worry about what I got. I got a great wife, and I got a great relationship with my wife. Don't go around and chat with her, but she must regret marrying him. Because you know what? She hates when you say that. Because I tell her all the time, you don't want to be with me, you can leave. She says, I would never be, if you died, I would not be with nobody. I love you. I don't have to be with you. I choose to be. She don't need a man to take care of her. She's well capable of doing it. Because I give her unconditional love. She gives it back to me. I don't tell her no if she wants to be intimate. She doesn't tell me no if she wants to be intimate. We don't claw at each other. We've had our share of arguments over dumb shit because I let the devil start coming into my life, and it was causing a lot of pain here. She never once ever got loud with me. I never got loud with her. She never once said, I can't do this. I'm giving you an ultimatum. She just said, it's changing you. I want you to look in the mirror every day to see that you are changing. You're letting this change you. I don't want this change. So just have some consideration to think that through. And she was right. It was changing me to be a rotten, evil person again. But not the rotten, evil person I was when I was in my 20s. A rotten, evil person like some of the people you are rotten. And I don't want to be like that. Because I'm not a lowlife. I'm not. I don't seek out sick stuff. I don't have to talk about jerking off because I don't have to jerk off. I don't do none of that stuff. I don't talk about anything like that. I don't talk about making white. It's disgusting that you do that in public. I don't use the P word around my house because my wife hates that word. I don't speak out of turn with her. I don't say I fuck my wife. I make love to my wife. I got class, style, and always have, and always will be. Just because I'm poor and undereducated, don't mean I don't have class. Don't mean I don't have. Don't mean I have that. I don't know how to be clean. It doesn't mean I know how to dress. I know how to dress, and I used to dress impeccably well. My hair always perfect every day. I heard someone say yesterday, it ain't too hard to be a better looking man than Joey C. When I heard that, I fell out of my chair yesterday. When I saw that in some chat room, if you think I'm ugly, if any of you men think I'm not a good looking guy, you're fucking blind. At 60, I'm better looking than 90% of you men in there. At 20, I was drop dead gorgeous. I was very good looking man. It runs in my family. My father was a very good looking man. I had no problem in those departments. I just was an idiot and was an addict that didn't save my money. Italians do not abandon their kids. They love their children no matter what. So to go at me with that, I laugh at that too. My kids laugh at that because they're in there. A lot of my kids are in here and watching me when I'm live. They don't understand why I even fight into that. So you can think what they want. And like people that are wretched, that are sending messages and want my daughter to finish the job, you're fucking sick, dude. Because when I see that, I wish you had a child that would turn on you and do that to you. You won't be talking all that stupidness because you're not even funny. You're not. But my daughter won't come on the internet. If you think I would parade her around the internet, all you guys have been so wrong about me. My daughter will never be on a show. You think I don't tell her the names you gave her? You think she's not fully aware? My daughter comes home, it's for us to get the relationship back we had, and she's going to teach me some new things, and I'm going to keep her positive and teach her some new things. I'm going to help her better her life before I leave this planet. 2 or 3 of my sons are doing outstanding. I must have done something right. My daughter is doing outstanding, my oldest daughter. My son-in-law, she's been married for a long time. 2 tours he done. He was a Marine. His children from his first wife are Marines. He believes in his country. I'm hoping that I could convince him that what this run that I'm doing is for president, that I could like to have him in my corner to help me see things on the military aspect of side, because he was very involved with the military. My daughter married a good man, a great guy. And my son, my firstborn grandson is turning 21. I can't believe I got a 21-year-old grandson who is going to be a suburb chef. He's in culinary school. He went to college to become a chef. And from what I understand, he's outstanding already. He's going to Rome. They're taking my mother for her 80th birthday, my 2 sisters, and my daughter. And my son-in-laws are going. They're taking my grandson. They're going to Rome. They're flying to Rome. June. My mother's called me today. They're leaving, I think, June 6th. My mother's never been out of the country. My mother's never been anywhere out of Chicago. My mother does not like to travel. My mother just likes home. She likes that wretched coldness. She doesn't. My mother don't like to do nothing. Been with the same man for 50 years after she divorced my dad. But she's going to Rome. They want to take her. My daughter goes to France every year. My oldest daughter, every year she goes to France for the last 3 years. She goes somewhere in the world every year, but she's been going to France the last 3 years. Very educated, makes great money, raised her kids right. Now I'm going to make one of my granddaughters is either a volleyball star or a soccer star. I think it's volleyball. Probably going to be in the Olympics the next time Olympics are. She's a champion. I think it's volleyball. From what I understand, it's champion volleyball. She's got what it takes, and she'll probably be on the Olympics. One of my grandchildren. One of mine. My firstborn granddaughter, my God, she went to her prom. She's a grown woman. They sent me pictures. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? They were little kids. She's ready to get. She's dating and went to the prom, and she's beautiful. It's those little moments that I missed when I was away, doing stupid things is what I miss. What I missed out on. My little grandson, I used to go every year, make sure wherever they always live. My daughter always, she never raised her kids in Chicago. She moved into Southern Illinois for most of their childhood. And then she moved to another state when they got big job offers in another state, her and my son-in-law. And my son-in-law works in a very good department. He works, I can tell you what he does, but he works in and you don't know his name, you don't know his last name, so it don't matter. He works in he's the guy that goes to the homes that takes out kids that have bad parents as drug addicts. Children and Family Services. He's got a big job in the state he's in. He's actually the head of the department. And he goes in and he takes a lot of meth babies away from people. He saved a lot of children. But he used to work, he's so educated. In Illinois for years, he was the guy that took care of the 8 worst mentally disturbed people in Illinois. He was assigned to the 8 worst possible criminal, mentally challenged people that were criminals, badly, that commit murder, burnt their house down, killed their family. That's what he did for years. And he built such a trust. He told me a story once. He loved being a Marine. He loves his country. He's big at his country. And he hasn't really made enough comment yet about me doing what I'm doing. He hasn't really said nothing to me yet because he won't disrespect me. But he may come to me and sit me down and say, Pop, Dad. He calls me Dad. I think you're stretching a little bit here. He knows I'd be serious. He knows. He did say that he knows I'm not doing this as a joke. He knows I would never make fun of veterans. Because I really believe that. I explained to him, he goes, that's really good, that observation, what you say, because you're right. There's a big budget in the military, and there should be no homeless vets. But he's very, very involved with that. So he hasn't said nothing yet. I'm trying to get him to come and work with me. His knowledge could be very useful to me. And I got a good rapport with him. But he's so wound up with the kids. he's got so much stuff. My son, one of my grandson's off at culinary school, and he's getting ready to go to Rome with his mother and his grandma and his two aunts, and then they're going on a cruise. They're taking my mother on a cruise. They fly to Rome, and I asked her if she was going to go see all those Chomo Catholic priests, and she says, "Yeah, that's one of our stops." I said, "Yeah, tell them, I don't think highly of a Catholic priest anymore. I was raised Catholic, and I think it's the biggest ripoff religion there is. They're the richest. You know, the Vatican's the richest conglomerate in the world is them. That they rinse so much dirty money through there, and they're so corrupt. They're corrupt because every priest that ever got caught with a child doing bad things has never been prosecuted. They wish them off and put them in some mountain, and they make them monks for the rest of their life. They got to pray all day long, and they can't have outside world, and they just repent. They repent while they were molesting boys, altar boys, and doing all that stuff. That's what they did. They get no repercussions. That's another thing that drives me crazy. That needs to be fixed. What makes them so immune? Because they're priests? Nobody should be above the law. No human being. No president, no senator, no Congress should ever be above the law. Inside trading is legal for Congress. You do it or I do it, we're going to prison. And they get rich off of it. And you think that's right? They laugh at the American people when they become millionaires. I'm not lying. I'm telling 100% the facts. It's allowed for them. Why should they be special? The slush fund is taxpayer money. 300 cases have been settled, whether it was they groped on somebody in the office, they took advantage of an intern, they forced their way to have sex with somebody. Whatever they did, a complaint was filed. The slush fund shut those people up. It's your taxpayers' money they're doing it with. You okay with that? Because I'm not. They've been trying to crack them on this, but because people are afraid to fight the fight. People are afraid to go all in. Believe me, you can stop anybody if you just go and never give up the fight. That's the type of president I'm going to be. I'm not going to worry about how powerful they are. I'm not going to worry about how much money they got. Because they're just bleed like me and they're humans like me. They use the bathroom like me, so they can be broke just like me. Powerful people can be broken too, probably more than anybody that's poor. You probably could break a rich guy faster than you can a poor guy. I guarantee you probably could. You just got to stand up to them, and you'll make change. I had a big speech today. I'm hoping I can get to it, but I'm trying to make a point is, I got just as good of a chance if I get myself on the ballot. And people, I don't think you should get anywhere. You don't have no clue what I do in Florida every day. I'm going to make Florida, I'm going to shock a lot of people. And then I want to know your thinking pattern. When I'm on Florida, one of the hardest states, and I'm on that ballot, and they see my name on that ballot for voting. Because the rest are going to be easy if I get Florida. It could be cakewalk, because I'm determined. Because I want this. It's not a grift. I got no personal interest in this, but I'm an American citizen, and I'm done with the system that they built, the two-party system. They built it where they don't even listen to the American people anymore. We have no say in nothing. That's not what it was made for. That's not what the forefathers did. It's built for the average hardworking person to have a say, to be elected, to do things right for the American people, not for you to get richer, steal, and protect your rich friends. That's not what it's for, or to protect guys like Epstein. It's not built for that. A dummy, a guy that's mentally challenged can figure that out. The problem is nobody has the fight in them or are afraid to stand up to these people. Why would you be afraid to stand up to them? Why? My sister called me every day. You're nuts. You're going to get assassinated. And so be it. Have I ever backed down from anything? No. Then why would you ask me to back down from this? Because it's suicide. Then it's suicide. I've done a lot of things that were suicidal that I did, that I believed in. I'm still here. I know how to finesse. I know how to be with the best in the room and can negotiate. I'll win Congress over, I promise you. When I get done with them, charming them, I'll have what I want. As long as I stay a man, stand up, and treat them with respect, I'll finesse my way through there. I finesse my way through a lot of things. As long as I stay true to the American people and let them know that I will never stop fighting every day I'm in office, I will earn my paycheck. But I will make change one at a time. I will tackle one at a time. One more thing I'm going to say before I go to the rest of the speech so I get out of here is I started it earlier. Our amendments were built 200 years ago. Do you think at some point when they did the amendments and the Bill of Rights and all the stuff they did, you know, in the three branches of government, when they did all this, that they didn't think that 500 years from now there might have to be some altercations done to the amendments? Or do you think, I don't know, this is a question I'm asking. Or do you think when they made them 250 years ago, that they said whether 1,000 years from now, they should all stay the same, nothing should change? Because if they thought that, they're wrong. The First Amendment 250 years ago does not work for today's society the way things are. None of the amendments do. They have to be amended. Things have to be added. Not taken away, not taking rights away, but they have to be some changes. You have to believe that changes have to come 500 years, 250 years later, or another 250 years later. You got to make some kind of, you got to believe in your mind that, yes, they need to be amended. There has to be change and tailored to today's society. Because if you think that they should stay the same, then we're not getting nothing out of the amendments, but getting people to get worse and use them in the wrong way. That First Amendment is used so badly by some of you people, it makes me sick. Because it's written for 250 years ago, it should be different today. There was an internet 250 years ago. I don't guarantee they never planned for any of this, what was going to happen today. They would want to change this and alter it to tailor for what's going on today. That's what needs to be done. And that's going to be a hard sell. That's one thing I know for a fact. There's no way Congress or Senate will even think of that. You want to know why? Because that protects them to be the criminals they are. But you know what? Anybody can be beat. Anybody. You surround yourself with the best legal team in the world, and I promise you, you'll go through more barriers than you can understand. The best criminal attorneys that get people off for some of the worst crime are the biggest lying piece of shits on the earth. But they're so good at bullshitting and so good at finding a loophole that they change laws that people say would never change. All you need is a bunch of good old lawyers that are corrupt in your pocket that will help you make the right changes because they know the loopholes. I want those scumbag defense attorney that got the guy off for murder to be working with me to help me to find those loopholes. Because he's the guy that's going to do it. He's the guy that's going to make me be remembered the rest of for hundreds of years as one of the greatest presidents that brought back the voice to the American people. I'm going to go down in the history books if I can do these things. I know what's broken. You know what's broken. Don't sit there and say, what are you going to do? I can do just as much as Obama, just as much as Biden, just as much as any president. There's a lot of failed presidents that did nothing. There's a lot of crazy presidents that were crazy or paranoid, like Nixon. I once used to make it my life to understand what's going on in the world. I stopped caring. I stopped caring. I stopped loving myself. That's where I made my mistakes, is I gave up. But I know the fight I went through since I was a little kid. And I was never like this. I never backed down from anything or a challenge or anything. I never said that nothing couldn't be done. I couldn't accomplish whatever I wanted. I hated the word no. Okay? We all lie. We all have told our share of lies. And to use that because I'm a convicted liar, that I'm everything out of my mouth is lie, you're mistaken. And I know most of you know that, but you just know what fires me up. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that are very intelligent, way better than me. Some people that know things better than me. Doesn't make me the dumbest guy in the world. I could have been a lot more higher in my life because I always made a lot of right connections, and I had a lot of people that loved me, and I knew how to call in favors, and I knew how to work the system. I could have done something really good. My ancestors, they worked the city of Chicago, the Daily Machine, so well. Because if you were tight with Mayor Daley, you got all your kids' jobs at the city. You got all your nephews' jobs at the city. All you had to do was finesse a little bit with Daley. If Daley liked you, you got 20 family members working for the city of Chicago with pension jobs. That's how it was. That's how the Daley machine was. It's who you knew. Didn't know how much you educated you were. Didn't know how smart you were. If you were in with Daley, the Daley machine, you had power. You were in with Eddie Verdoliak, the 13th Ward, you had power. Eddie Verdoliak was one of the strongest aldermen in Chicago. I had him in a pocket like nickels and dimes. Knew him very well. Would do anything for me because he knew that I was a kid that never gave up. I went out and I made money. I did everything from A to Z, whatever it took to put $1 in my pocket. Very first time I got hustled by 4 gypsy kids. They sucked me into a dice game. I was like 9 years old. Loaded dice. And I used to wear, as a kid, for like communion confirmation, I had a very nice gold chain with a cross on it. The Italian horn. I had the Italian horns, and I had all the Italian stuff to go around as my medallions. I always wore it with pride. Come home one day, my mother goes, "Where's your necklace?" "Oh, I think I left it in school in my locker." "Okay, well, make sure you forget it. Bring it tomorrow." Come back. "Where's it at?" "Oh man." "Okay." Next day, you're lying. "Where's your necklace?" I'm gonna put you another way. I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't tell me what happened to that necklace. Matter of fact, I'm gonna beat your ass just for lying to me the next 2 days. Got my ass beat. Whooped the shit out of me up and down the house. I lost it playing dice with the gypsies. "You what?" She goes, "I know I couldn't afford to buy any of that stuff, but your grandparents bought you this, your godfather, the things you do have, people gave you. And that nice thing that you worked from working your job you bought." I always loved gold. So I always bought me something nice. I always wore the best clothes. That's what I couldn't go to my mom and say, "Mom, can I get a new pair of Converse All-Stars? There's new colors coming out." She'd laugh at me. "You better go to work then. You better go sign some more shoes. You better go down to the bowling alley, set more pins. You better go down the corner of the gypsy pool and box some more floors." "Mom, can I know you got..." "No. You want them? Go work for it." There used to be a guy, this old guy that used to drive a Cushman cart on Southport Avenue there used to be a movie theater on Southport. I think Biograph Theater. I think it was the Biograph. Or the Biograph might be on Lincoln Avenue. There was a Biograph with, I don't know if that's the one on Southport, if that's the one on Lincoln. I don't remember. But there was also one on Southport that they made into a fancy. They didn't tear it down. It was like a piece of history. So they made it a fancy theater. We used to sneak in there on Saturday. One kid would go in and pay. Was $1 to get in. And then we would go to the side door and let all our friends in. And we stay in the movie theater all day on Saturday. Because none of us had fathers and we were all hoodlums and we go in. Or the L track. We were skinny enough, the revolving door to go on the L track, you could slide underneath there if you're skinny enough. So you pull yourself through. Or we just wait for the train to get close and we jump the thing and some old guy wasn't going to chase us when we get on the train. We did all kind of shit like that. Tag garages, we stuff. We tagged, we get spray paint, we did all kind of crazy shit. I used to jump roofs from big in the 70s, jumping roofs. My mother chased me out of the house one day. I got on the roof, I jumped off the roof. She begging, she yelled at me, "Come down." She goes, "I'll kill you when you get down here." And I laugh at her. You can't catch me. And I run all the way across, up and down to the end and jump off the roof and go, and I leave. I come home, I got really a badass whooping. Then my mother, I would leave the minute the daylight in the summer, daylight open, leave, I'd be gone. As soon as it was daylight, I had my breakfast, I'd be gone. Better be home by 10 o'clock. Matter of fact, the rule was, I remember, it started getting dark around 8:30. You better be in front of the house at 8 o'clock. And you can stay out in the front of the house. You better be there at 8 o'clock. So I go to the schoolyard, I go out with my friends, mischief, whatever we did. But we played a lot of baseball, we did. But we did a lot of stupid shit. I go and I work and I love buying comic books. I didn't believe in taking the baseball card, putting it in the spokes, and ruining the baseball card. I thought that was nuts. My friends would put them in there just to hear it. I go, "What are you ruining the card for? It's going to be worth money someday." They didn't care. We hustle enough money to buy a rubber ball, a little rubber baseball, to play fast pitch, where you put the box on the ball, paint the box onto the wall of the factory, and you have one-on-ones, 2-on-2s, and you pitch. One guy pitches, you get hit. When you lost the ball and you had no money, the game was over. So if you roofed the ball and we couldn't get it, the game was over. We ended a lot of games because nobody had money. I was always the one going out making money and buying them because my friends were all lazy, or their parents gave them an allowance and they only got like $4 a week. I hustled my ass off since I was a little kid. You don't want to believe about my scam about my car, my bicycle insurance, then you're an idiot. Because I was just talking to one of the kids that I scammed, who I still stay friends with on Facebook. And when I brought that up, he got the ass with me. He remembers so much how I took his fucking money every week. We were good friends, though. We hung out. But when I brought it up after all these years, he got mad at me. I'm like, what a fucking tight ass. You're gonna get married. I mean, I had no, unless my grandparents, and they died when I was a teenager, unless I went to my dad's parents' house, my grandpa always gave me money when I go visit them. He always throw me a 20, 30 bucks. But I didn't see them every weekend. I didn't have anybody to go to get it. I had to go work for it. My mother said, you work. I remember there was a place called a House of Ribs Pizzeria on the corner of Southport and School Street. House of Ribs / Wide World of Pizza. 2 Jewish guys own it. And they like to hire neighborhood kids to go out and pass flyers. And they taught you how to break into the buildings, the high rises. They actually they go with you on the first day to tell you how to open the doors so you can get into the floors. Well, the 4+1s, what we call them, it was the condos that were like around Broadway and all the side streets. They had these apartments that were 4 floors up, and they had the glass door. And they had the glass door that came out, and it had the handle wasn't just a little small. It was a big old handle. Well, if you put your foot up against the framing and pull that, it opened the door real easy. I mean, real easy. They showed you how to do it. You put your foot in it, pull real fast, it opened the door. And we used to get chased out of the building because maintenance would come around, and they started watching for the guys. But he hired kids because we could duck and we could run for them. So he told us, don't ever start on the first floor. Start on the top floor. Never use the elevator. Use the stairs. Well, we got caught a couple of times, got chased out of the building. But or people would call. We just push them on the doors. But we got a lot of them out, and he pay us. We go out every day, and pass out menus. Or I went down to Leo's Southport Lanes. I knew Leo Betts real well and his wife. Leo had the 4-lane bowling alley, which became one of the big famous landmarks in Chicago, which just closed up a couple years ago. I was one of the original pin setters there. Yeah, I pin set. It was 4 lanes, and it was a string. You stand on one side, they bowl this lane. You jump over there and you set the pins, and you hit the lever, and then when if they got a strike, you put them all in. You just pull the string. It was like run mechanically, but he had a string. You pull it and reset them. I can't tell you how many times I got shacked in the knees with a pin because those pins go flying. But I did that. Leo liked me so much, and he knew I was I didn't have a father, so I would go there. He gave me extra work. He taught me how to polish the lanes. I was 16 years old, and he loved me because he used to watch every Cub game. Every Cub game, I thought he was more like a father to me because he was more excited with me being on TV. Every time you see a home run, he'd see me at the plate. He would always say, "Boy, you're like a ham, kid. You always want to get in that picture." I would always make sure I was on the back of the Sun-Times because I would be high-fiving the guys. I'd wait till the guy make the trip and the other players there, and I'd be right in that picture with those guys. Always. I did that myself. I checked on myself in those pictures. My boss used to hate me for it. Stop staying out of the newspapers. Get the bat and go back in the top. Okay, whatever. Never followed rules. Always defied them. But Leo gave me a job because he goes, I need someone on Wednesdays because he had bowling leagues there. He bowled real good. The men's league was there Wednesday. The women's league was Tuesday. His wife Ella, she bowled Tuesdays, and they both loved me. I mean, they were great. I mean, he didn't serve food there. What he served was he had the oven, the plug-in oven pizza. You put the frozen pizza in. You pay $4 for the pizza, and it's just one of those little ovens that sit on the counter, and you plug it in and you put the pizza in there. Or he had a thing that he run a frozen sandwich through. He had ham and cheese sandwiches, and he had a Darth Vader. He had the old type games in the back, what's that one? Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man. That one that you're flying to space invaders. And I was a champion. I played those games. Kids would come and play me, and I'd hustle their money. I played dumb. I was great in pool because he let me play every single day. You had to put quarters in there because I worked for him. He let me play every day for 2 hours until the pool leagues came. There was nobody there in the back. the bar was all a bunch of old people that were just beer and shot drinkers. He let me practice pool. One thing I was good at, I played pool every day. And I would hustle everybody to come in there. I would play dumb. I had every knack down to a science because I had to make money. I had to buy clothes. I did whatever it took. So if I had to fake and lose a couple games to some of my sad ass friends and then run them for at the end for more money, I didn't care. I was making an honest wage by a talent that I developed. So I hustled them. I got my head beaten one day in Southport, Fullerton. Southport and Fullerton had a pool hall in the corner. I got beat up pretty bad in there. They caught me cheating. And I'm gonna tell you something. That wasn't the best place in the world to be at. A lot of bad people in there. And they took me out back and they beat the shit out of me pretty good. I deserved it. I fought back the best I can, but you can't fight 5 guys. They knock you out, they beat you, you wake up, you're fucking in the alley somewhere, woke up broken, you're half dead. Okay? That happened to me a couple times. I'm not afraid to admit that I got my ass whooped. Anybody can get their ass whooped. It's the point is that I didn't back down from it. But I had the people in the neighborhood love me on Southport Avenue. I had all the little old ladies. They used to give me the pop bottles. Get 10 cents a pop bottle. And I used to hustle to give me all the return bottles. I cut their grass. I used to go Christmas Carol. Did whatever it took to put $1 in my pocket. I did everything and anything. Everything and anything. I convinced people that I was selling them jewelry, these fancy rocks that people used to put in front of their houses around their shrubbery. You go buy those fancy rocks, and they had this one rock that had like glitter in there, and it had like a little glass thing over the rock, and they were fancy. I go at nighttime dressed in all black, and put black hat on, black bag, put fucking the shit on your face, and I go like I was fucking what was that show? That the movie Mission Impossible. Is get all my little friends, and I have co-operative, and we go rob all those rocks, and I sell them in school. I'd sell the little girls and tell them, this is a nice little present for you. I would hustle little girls. I did all that shit. It's the only way I knew of life. But I didn't go rob people or stab people or shoot people. I just hustled. I learned to hustle. You get that knack in Chicago. I got well liked on Southport Avenue. When I became 18 years old, I knew every business owner on Southport Avenue back in those days. I'd walk into their establishment. I never paid for nothing. They all knew me. I worked for all of them in some capacity. Joe Lagaba's Pizza was right underneath the L track in Southport Avenue in Roscoe. Joe took care of me the best in the neighborhood. When I went there for dinner, he wouldn't let me pay the bill. He gave me a job when I was really strung out on drugs. Nobody would hire me to be a pizza driver at night. But he watched me. He says, if you come in messed up, I'm gonna send you home. He knew I didn't lie to him. He was saddened for me. He saw I was a young father. I was struggling, and I was getting worse on cocaine. And he tried to help me, but he employed me. And I delivered pizzas. I made $80, $90 a night. I did, but half of that went on drugs. Half of that went back in the house. So I did it for all. If I had to put the other half away, and then took care of my kids with the other half, I would be successful today. But I didn't. All I cared about was drugs. But no matter how messed up I was. My kids were sick. They were at the hospital. I never left their side. I just wouldn't. I don't believe in that. It's not me. It's not my character. But I done a lot of things good. I did a lot of things good. I saved my sister's life when she owed a drug dealer $9,000. That's why I'm so close with my sister. She came to me and said he's threatening to kill me. I knew the guy. I grew up with him. So I went to him. I called him up. I said, Mark, we got to meet. And he came to me like a hard ass, disregarded the friendship and disrespected me, and says, if your sister don't pay me tonight, I'm putting her in the ground. This is how he talked to me. I was 21 years old, maybe. And I looked at him, and he knew who I ran with. You guys met my friend Frankie, who was about this big, and he was a pretty bad hombre. And I went to Frank. I said, he's threatening me. He's going to threaten me. He said that if someone better pay him. So he thought he ran. He was with the Simon City Royals. And he just forgets about the people he grew up with and just got this big head. And so my question was, what idiot lets someone get $9,000 in debt on friends? You got to be the dumbest drug dealer in the world. That's my first. Am I right? I called him out when he dissed me. I said, well, furthermore, who gives the $9,000 someone $9,000 credit? He don't want to hear that. Oh, it's just my fault. I go, yeah, technically it is. So he makes his threat, and he gives it so much time. At the time, Frankie was opening a shrimp restaurant. There's a famous shrimp place on Clybourne Avenue called the Goose House. It's called the Goose, and they sell the best pound of shrimp you get. probably like $25 nowadays. But back then you get it for $12. Well, he was opening one at Lincoln and Addison. Duncan Stone across the street. He found a place. It would have been fucking booming. He put about 30, 40, 50,000 of his drug money, fixed this place up, all new equipment, grand opening. He's killing it. So then I had this incident with Marsh. The guy's name was Marsh. And he gives me so many times. My sister can't pay it, so I had to tell my sister, just go away. Don't worry about nothing. It'll be taken care of. So now I'm on the hooks because I put my injector because he's my sister and I don't want my sister to get hurt. So I rather, if they're going to do something, let them do it to me. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I got Frankie and I got my other friend Billy, who I ain't got to worry about nothing. So they come. He calls me. He says, "Where you at?" I told him I was at. He goes, "Oh, by the way, I want to talk to Frank too. He's in my territory. He's got to pay up. He's got to pay me an envelope every week." I laughed at him. Frankie said, "He's coming to see me for my sister's money, but you got to pay him an envelope." Well, Frankie was with the Disciple Gangsters, and he was a pretty big high up Arky in there. And Frankie laughed at him. So he come in all stupid. Came in all stupid. He shoots Frankie. Shot Frankie, ready to kill me. Frankie will tell you the story. I tried to give him a story. He's still got the bullet in him. He shoots Frankie, goes down. He's getting ready to put one in Frankie's head. He's turning to me to put two in me. Billy comes from behind the back without hesitation and put two bullets in his head and killed him right there. Called the police. It was a legitimate kill. Self-defense. But because who the people they are, the cops say, nah, he's arrested for murder. So they arrest our friend Billy for murder. Billy was pretty big. He made a lot of money. He was a white. It was funny because Frank's a Puerto Rican, I'm Italian, and Billy was a white guy. I promise you. Billy was what we call redneck. Not a lot of rednecks in Chicago, but he was. But he knew how to make money. He's the guy you could look his case up. He went to Iowa and bought up half the town and became one of the biggest meth dealers in Iowa. And an Italian guy, young kid, turned in to the feds and got all of them put in prison. And his wife, the minute he got arrested, she was beeline to the next dealer to be with a dealer. He had given her like hundreds of thousands of jewelry. He had all kinds of stuff in the safe. She sold everything, didn't help him out, took all his money, and left him. He did, I think, over 20 years. He just got out, I'm going to say, within the last 10 years. Billy got out probably 6 years ago. But he was one of the biggest rings, one of the first biggest rings busted in Iowa. And it was this young kid that took him down. Everybody went to prison. His own brother ratted on him. But he got the most time. They all got deals, and he didn't. He got the most time. He did his time, not the first time. Came out, and I didn't get to see him. We could come out because but he invited us. Frankie saw him. He had a big shindig at his house, and and he's laughing about what his ex-wife did. What do you think a whore's going to do? A whore's going to run and go over to the next dope man. That's what she did. Because I remember when we saw her out in public while Billy was first got arrested. Frankie told her, "Get your ass up out of here, man," and told the guy, "Get your fucking hands off her. That's my best friend's fucking wife." And the guy, that's how he was, which is right. You don't fucking flaunt that shit. He just got arrested. You're already dumping him. I mean, everybody knew she was a fucking just in there for the dope. But that's what happens when you marry a pig like that. That's what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen? So he does his time. He put two in Marsh's head. I called my sister that night. I said, you come back home. It's your problem to take care of. What happened? He's dead. That's all I can tell you. I told her what happened. Saved her life. Now, I couldn't have planned it any better. It really, my intention was he wasn't being reasonable. He was going to have to go, but I didn't know. I was trying to figure out. I was still going to figure out point. But he does the dumbest mistake and goes after two real gangbangers in the street and thinks he's going to muscle them because their restaurant was in their territory. He thought he was going to get money out of them. He was going to collect money every week from them. Simon City's Royals weren't shit compared to the Disciples. And this idiot didn't even know who was in the restaurant. Thought it was just me and Frank, and Billy was in the back and didn't even know it. Came out and put two in his head. Gets arrested for murder, beat it in jury trial. Jury found him not guilty. He spent $150,000 on a lawyer for something he should have never been charged with. That's because the system is broken. Because of who he was, the cops they've been trying to get him on peddling dope, so they couldn't. So they go ahead and they arrest him for a clean, obvious self-defense. Hands down. And he does okay. Took it like a man, went to jail, bailed himself out, went to trial, and beat it. but he spent a lot of money. Frankie's restaurant was immediately closed, lost his license. They closed it down. He was open. His first month, he made record-breaking money. That thing he would have been a millionaire off that restaurant. It was his best thing he ever did, the smartest thing he ever did. I was proud of him. But he was getting older. He wanted to stop being a gangbanger, and he wanted to do this. And he was going to open chain. He was going to open them all over. He just had a feeling that he was right. But because your past will always come back to get you. If you're not accountable and not transparent about what you've done in your life and make amends for those things, your past will catch up to you and destroy you. You think I don't know that? You think that's why I'm talking about and being very vocal about what I've done? Because by doing this, when they do come, if I make it on the ballot, and when I do, I'm going to be a threat to them. No matter what you think, I'm a candidate that's never been a candidate, that's not know nothing about politics, who's a loose cannon, that was an addict, who's been in prison, who's done a lot of bad things, is now in their ring. You think they're not going to strike back at me? Because guess what? They are. So they're going to go look. The first thing they're going to do is look for anything they can get on dirt. I've already disarmed them. Because by then, the American people are going to be on my side. And they don't see this coming. But so now what's their next option? Now they're going to have to maybe they're going to take a chance to get violent. I've already got that taken care of too. That won't happen either. All I have to do is convince the American people that I'm 100% transparent. I'm going to bring integrity back, and I'm going to give them a voice back, and I'm going to fight for everything that they believe that is wrong, as I do. Fight every day to make changes. I'm going to tackle one thing at a time, one day at a time. We're going to knock one thing out. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some. We're going to build a good rapport with Congress and Senate and have a working relationship with them so we can get these things done. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be hard, but there's a lot of stuff that could be changed. There's budgets that you don't need to tax the people more. They just misappropriate the money. Prison reform is important because it will lower crime. Recidivism will go down, I promise you. If they just follow through, which what some of the presidents had tried to do, they never went through with it. If you just follow through and give the people that deserve a chance, I promise you they'll want to come back to be a citizen that pays taxes. I promise you, because I know how these people think, because I've been one of them, and I know if they get a chance for someone to believe in them and someone just give them a chance, they will come back to what they're known to be, a good American citizen to pay taxes. They will. They will. But when you give them and you treat them like dirt and you treat them like they're a murderer when they're not, and you treat them like a common trash like they're a number, of course they're going to become. They go in with no knowledge. They come out with being a better criminal, because that's what prison teaches you. If you don't have reform, it teaches you how to be a better criminal. Not always be the best criminal, but it teaches you how to be able to go further in more crime. Doesn't make you that you're going to be a smart criminal, because most of those guys are dumb. See, a guy that don't get caught for years is a smart criminal. A guy that barely got arrested is a smart criminal. If you get arrested all the time for being a drug dealer, you should change your profession. I told many guys that. You call yourself a drug dealer, you've been arrested, you've been in prison 7 times for being a drug dealer. You're not successful. You rob houses, you've been caught 5 times, you're not a good burglar. If you don't see that, you're wrong. I don't judge people what they do for a living. I never did. Ain't my business what the next guy's doing. I'm out here hustling too. It's not my business to get involved in his business. People say that's wrong. It's not wrong. You should never worry about what other people do. Worry about what you do. Because if people are bad, they will eventually get caught up, either get killed or go to prison. But the law will always win. The law always wins. Government is winning because we allow it. They built it where you can't even touch them. You're telling me a president's above the law? What if you think that's what the forefathers, that presidents should be above the law, be treated with special kindness and not be charged with anything? Are you kidding me? Trump was charged with all this stuff, and it's all miraculously turned around. He flipped the script on all them. Now he's going after everybody, accusing them of election fraud and all this shit. Trump came back to be president this time, I believe, without a doubt, and I could be wrong. This is my opinion. He came back to win again, to get even with everybody that turned on him, because he's a rich, powerful guy that does not like people betraying him. That's obvious. That's the common sense way. He took office again this time so he could get even and bury all his enemies. And he's doing that. He's doing that very well. He's powerful, but he might be a bigger piece of shit than anybody if he's involved with Epstein and the things that he's not letting out. Because if he is, and if Clinton is, they need to let people know what they were. They're going to get They're not going to ever be trusted, but they may get some forgiveness they might save their souls, and they might get some forgiveness of the American people. Someone made a comment yesterday. They guarantee, this is someone in the chat room, I don't even have to say, they're going to know when they hear I say it. They guarantee if I become president, I'm going to cheat on my wife. Are you fucking crazy? I don't even look at other women. Why would you even make a statement like that? My wife will never have to worry about that. Why would I go to become president? If I want to cheat on her, I'm not a bad looking guy. I know how to play the field. I could go out and cheat on her now. Why would I wait to be president? I can get a dime piece without being rich. I know how to sell that, fucking close that deal. I don't cheat because I love the woman and would never do that. To make that statement just to be laughed at in the chat to get along with your friend, you're a fake, phony person too. That's why you're blocked. That's why am I king? You're blocked because your intentions have always been phony. You're a fake dude, man. You're a liar and a fake dude. My wife's never done a damn thing wrong to you, and you're gonna put that out there and say that and start that nasty rumor? You're wrong, buddy. I don't even look at another. I would never cheat on my wife. I would never cheat on anybody that didn't do it to me. She don't do it to me. She treats me like a king. She treats me like I mean everything. Why would I throw that away? See, foolish people, smart people, educated people, sometimes they're the dumbest people in the world. No common sense. And you say things to fit in. That's fake, man. Don't say things to fit in. Be yourself. You don't like me. People don't like me because you want to know why? Because I won't let them beat me up all day long in chat rooms. I won't let them say all these things about me and I come back at it. That's what they don't like. That's why you don't like me. Because I stand up for myself and you guys can't stand it. Because you want control of the internet. You want control of everything. And you want me to take it and just keep my mouth shut. Life don't work like that. Only dumb people do that. But when I cross over now to do something serious that is good, now you're talking about the entire United States, and 70% of the people are furious about the inside trading, are furious about why the rent is still too damn high. All it takes, if I could connect about the rents alone, I'll sail through this election as long as I get out. As long as the thing is for me is to get on the ballot. Getting on the ballot, once that's done, to sell myself to be president is going to be easy because I'm going to be 100% real and show my real heart. And I'm going to tap into the emotions of all I feel their pain because I live their pain. Not a lot of people, no president can sit there and say they feel their pain. None of them been drug addicts. None of them streetwise. They all been spoon fed with golden spoon and all rich. They know nothing. They only could just sit there, listen, and speculate. They don't really care. They can't connect with anybody. I can. My life is my strength is my entire life of mess ups is what's going to get me into the office because it's real. People love to hear honesty. They love to hear someone that has struggled and bounced back and got up and fought. That's what the American people seek in their leader. That's what they want. They want those leadership qualities. They don't want a guy up there that's from an Ivy League school that talks very well and talks so well that you get memorized and believe everything you say, and then turn around and laugh at you when they're behind closed doors. That's what they have fought. They have programmed the American people to fall into their system. That's what they've done. And you guys just have accepted it. People just are done with it, so they accept it. I talked to a bunch of people the other day. I talked about 10 people. The average they were 27, 29. And they said, the truth, man, I'm done voting. I'm never going to vote again. I don't trust none of them. And that was saddened me. And at that point, I didn't tell them who I was or what I was doing. So I kept talking with him, got a good conversation. We just have a conversation. I went and bought something off of Marketplace, and he had a bunch of people at his house, and that's how I struck with the conversation. I bought a printer. This guy was selling a printer. He told me it was about 9 o'clock at night, and my wife talked to his wife, and she was on her way home to work, and she called her husband. He said, "Yeah, you guys can come and get it now." So we drove over there, and the guy was really nice. And he goes, and then we asked him what else he had for sale. I wind up buying an extra podcasting kit that goes through. It's a second generation. Everything was in the box, and I priced it. It's anywhere from 184 to second generation to 250. I said, "Well, how much you want for it?" I think I had because they didn't. I would have to go to the bank. So cash wise left, I had $10 in my pocket. So I didn't say. I go. He goes. Well, what do you want for it? He goes, "I don't know. Give me $10." I said, "Are you sure?" And I came home and I priced it, and I'm like, if I just turn around and sell this, I can sell it used for $150 and make that's a nice product. But I like it. I got it hooked up. I haven't used it yet, but that's how I like that's how I hustle. Okay, everybody. I didn't know Dead Fool had put out the business that he gave me $500. You guys think I fucking conned and robbed him? I've never conned and robbed him ever, ever. So now I'm gonna buy storage units since Rocco don't have to give me no money this trip, and I'm gonna let Rocco do the storage forestry, and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna buy a few units this week, and that's where his money's gonna go. All he wants to do is see the show. He was all about him seeing the show. He thought there was something in this. He told me, he goes, I hope it didn't kill it because he really thought this was the one time I was finally onto something. He told me that last week when I had dinner with him. He said the storage thing, I really thought you finally hit it. You finally hit your winner for streaming. He goes, I really think you've got this is it. He goes, it was funny. You were good at it. He said, it took you a long time, but you found it. This is what you should be doing. Then Rocco approached me and he took it away from me by making it wait for months, and he got mad because he felt it killed what I could bring to it. And it may have. Maybe I have to keep a storage portion. Rocco gets all the glory, and all I do is I buy the stuff and make the little money I'm going to make. So that's on me. But he was right. I knew it would be good. I knew the people would like it because it's real. It's something real. So, like I said, I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm not here to debate whether I'm the right person to run for president. I'm not here to say I'm the smartest guy in the world. I'm not here to say I'm smarter than you. I'm not here to say that I got more education than you. I'm not here to say that I'm a politician. I'm not here to say that I'm not a drug addict. I was a drug addict. I'm not saying that I wasn't a piece of shit because I was. Everything you say I was. I'm already accountable. I've owned it. It's done. That's it. What you get from this point on is your own stupidity of being dumb. There's nothing new they're going to find. Now, all of a sudden, they want to throw the sex tape out. Okay? I addressed that too. So, yes, there's one that exists out there. Yes. Yes, and Melton has it. Yes. Moody found it in New Zealand somewhere. I didn't know. I thought it was gone. I didn't know. I never thought it would emerge. But if they show it, then they're going to get in trouble. That much I do know. They're going to be cross the law. That's why he's never shown it, because he knows that that's one thing he can't do. But yes, there was one. Big deal. Wow, I experimented. I did something that probably every American couple or every person, every dude wants to do. Make a home porno. Wow, I did something so wrong. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you happen to see it, then you see it. I got no shame over it, and I'm not going to defend it. It happened. It's over with. That's not going to hurt me. Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the White House. That's definitely not going to hurt me. So again, you people are looking for angles to try to hurt me. Anything that's been done on me will not hurt me. The only thing that will hurt me, if I don't change it, and I kid the pattern, if I keep dropping the N-word, it's going to destroy me. Even if I'm goofing around in satire, it's going to destroy me. That much woke me up that I got to stop that. I'm not prejudiced. I just try to roll and try to be funny. It's not even funny. It's a serious thing that I did, and I should do it. I tried to make amends with Big Black. I didn't mean to do that to him. I hope he understands that. And I was wrong. That's the one thing that could hurt this campaign. I'm out bounce out because there's nobody going to put up with that. So I have to change some things. I have to separate. You're right. Let me finish my speech. I think I'm getting better. I'm getting more knowledgeable. I'm not going to debate nobody in the Divorce. Don't even try. I don't care what you put out there. I'm not responding to you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to debate with anybody that's not worth they're going to be any benefit to me in the real world. Debating a history teacher that's a history teacher who will smash me on the ground would be the dumbest thing I could do. I don't want to keep making myself look bad for you tards to have a laugh. I'm not your clown. I'm a human being that knows what I'm doing. I'm not a criminal anymore. I'm not a woman beater. I'm not bad to my children. My wife's not a prostitute. Stop. Grow some balls and realize the things that you come after me for are dumb. You ain't getting nowhere. You ain't running me off anywhere. You're not doing nothing. If you think I don't know how to spin something that you guys are trying to do and make it a positive for me, you underestimate me. And you know, I will be, you know that I could be a piece of shit. And I'm going to say it right now. I don't care what any of you think. If I get any information on the people that have been hard on me, I'm going to dox the hell out of you. I promise you. I'm going to make your life as much of hell as you did to me and my wife for you. You could tomorrow go on every show and call me a piece of shit. I don't care because I'm not watching no more shows. I don't care. If you mess with me in any way, and I'm talking mess with me in a serious way where you were trying to really, really do some damage to me, and if I find out who you are, I'm going to find out your background and I'm going to destroy you. I promise you that. That's a promise I'm going to make to you. Whether you want to go send that video right now to the President of the United States or to the election board. If you come at me and try to smash me in and hurt me physically or hurt me by taking away just by doing stupid things to me, and not you sell it as it's just joking and we're just busting your balls, because it's not. You know who you are. When I find out, I'm going to do everything in my power to destroy you. If you play anything off of my Patreon, I'm taking your channel away from you. I'm letting everybody know now. If Catalano Network plays one thing off Patreon without my written consent, his channel's gone. And I don't care what you think of me. Again, your fantasy land is not going to make or break my campaign. I'm a real person that speaks really from the heart. And people will understand the anger I have. They'll understand that how accountable I am. You guys are really not thinking through clear that, because some people are saying, what if he does win? He might win. He's definitely got the moxie to do it. He's got the talk to do it. He might not have the smarts of government, but this guy might do it. You ever think of that? That I could be the next president of the United States. And I will not use it to hurt anybody. I'm going to do it to help every day I get out of bed, to help the American people. That's my goal. Not for gain, not for power, not for being rich, nothing. I don't care about being phased that I'd stay in the White House. It's really not that big with the quarters for the president. It's nothing big. I've lived in very nice homes. It's the point that I'll be able to do something. I'll be able to really do something that's worthwhile in my life to help other people. That's what this is about. That I can finally do some real good for people and help a lot of people. Because I'm going to fight every day. And I'm going to get things done. I might not get everything I'm talking about, but I'm going to get more things done than what these lazy presidents that don't do nothing. Because I'm going to get up and fight every day for it. I'm going to learn government as I go along. That's going to come natural once I'm in the office. Okay? So if you really cared about your country and you really, really want to you just say that you're just busting balls, then do that. But don't say you're doing that and you're not. When you're trying to prove it, I already know you're smarter than me when it comes to book smart. I already know you'll blow me away in history. I understand that. So does everybody else. What are you proving? Why don't you tell the truth? It'll relieve your soul that you have been very jealous of me from day one. You've hated me from day one. You really have. And you've always tried to make me look bad, even when you know I'm telling the truth. Because you spin it better than me. Because you go chase people's love. You chase the people in the dabbers. You're like a bee buzzing around them to get them to like you. You do that. You live for this. Same like the other guy that lives for it. He finally admits it. Yeah, I guess I do like joy. Of course you do. Yeah, I steer stuff up. You do the same stuff for clout. No matter what you people think of me, I'm still a name of the dabbers that people know that they're going to get a reaction from, and they're going to get people off of it. My retention, views are down right now for everybody. But when I'm done live and I got a lot of people come back and watch my stuff, my retention is there. And I've kept the capability of getting 5,000 views a video as well as anybody else. Okay, YouTube algorithm changes so much throughout the course of the year, it hurts a lot of people. Now they just did another new change in the algorithm, and now you got to do some videos about how to adjust it. It'll go for that. It's true when you stream from your phone, you get 5 times the amount of views that you do if you go through StreamYard. You get maybe 10 times the amount of people. It doesn't matter if someone pops in for 1 second, it's considered a view. It's all it takes 1 second. They don't hit in and out, they get a view. Doesn't make it right, but it's still a view. You understand? So stop saying that I'm cheating the system when everybody's doing it. Everybody grifts and they put something on the bottom of their thing the minute they get monetized. The minute they take it, they're all grifters. I don't grift no different than anybody else. At the point now, I get so tired of listening, I don't even care. I don't even read the super chats, which I don't have to. So if you send them and I don't read them, I put down there, if you can't see where that money should go, and you send me super chat, it's probably not going to be read in my political show. Lou wants to read them on the show we do. That's on him. I'll never read them again. Promise you that. I don't have to. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't deserve it when you come at me the way you do. So if you want to donate, thank you. I appreciate it. But I'd rather go there so I could spend that money, the little bit I'm going to make, put it in the campaign. Okay, that's all. So you guys don't super tip me when I used to get a lot of, because you think I'm going to dox you. You don't get the information you think you get off of there, and I would never do that. You think you're going to call Melton and tell him to take away from me? He won't. So when you threaten me, you're going to call this one. I'm going to call Shuli. I'm going to call Carl and Shuli. I don't give a shit. What's Carl going to do to me? What's Shuli going to do to me? What are they going to do? I hang up the phone. I'm mind their own fucking business. I don't care who you want to call or what you think of me. Think of it to me, but leave my wife out of it. She's never done nothing wrong, you guys. You guys all owe her an apology. You really do. You're scum for what you call her. That's a good woman there. You guys have no, because she's probably one of the best women you'll ever meet. You guys are a bad judge of character. All for a little laugh in the Dabbleverse. You guys, some of you guys are so diehard, I think you would cry if they took the Dabbleverse away from you. You would cry. You would die. You might even hurt yourself. This is how much you live for this. This Dabbleverse is puke, wretchedly puke. There's nothing positive about it. And I made the biggest mistake of my life entering into it. That's on me. I put it out there. This is what came back. Bad mistake. Another great failure for Joseph Catalano. But a very, very, very valuable lesson in this one. I learned a lot the last 2.5 years in the Dabbleverse. A lot. I learned that most of them are so dumb. Most of you are so dumb that I could play a role of being dumber than you. And you guys will make sure you get it out there. I'm the dumbest guy in the world. So easy. You guys are easy. Very easy. Because a dumb person wouldn't know how to file the paperwork to run for president. Okay? Someone made a comment, all I did was add the vice president, but that's all you have to do. He doesn't get no special paperwork. You add him onto your paperwork. That's what's registering the vice president. That's how it's done. You add the vice president on your ticket. He's not running. You're picking him to run. So they don't vote for him. If he's on your ticket, they're voting for you. You're just bringing him along. So there's no special paper for the vice president. Yes, I did it right, but someone wants to make a big deal. So now I'm going to register now. Well, I hope you. What are you trying to prove? Yeah, if you meet the requirements, anybody can do it. What does that prove? That you're better than me because you registered? Are you going to do anything? You're making a joke out of it. Why register if you're not going to do something? You're not going to do anything with it. At least I get up every day and I try. All right. Every time you walk into a store, every time you check out, you're paying more and walk out with less. So let me ask the question directly. Why are groceries still so damn high? If they're going to get back the tariff money, if they're getting back the tariff money, are they going to give back a check to everybody that has overspent for the last few months? So they're going to refund us because they're getting all their money back. So there's no reason they need to lower prices and give us back our money. You'll never see it. They don't care because they're rich for a reason. Is it fair? No. But we allow it. There's more of us than there are politicians. We stand as one. We get these things done. That's what fighting is about, what you believe in. Grow some balls and go with the people that want to fight, not the people that want to lie because they got a fancy suit on or they got money. They're not going to give you none of that money. They're not going to even talk to you in the normal way. So if you think that, you're wrong. I'll come in anybody's living room and sit down and talk and shoot the shit and break bread with them and listen for real. I've got just as much of a chance as anybody else. In some cases, in some states, I might have a better chance. You think I'm lazy? I'm not. I've lost my spot by speech. So I'm going to read this and I'm out of here. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I don't even know how many people are here. We got 100-something people here. Okay. I don't care. I usually don't look at it. All right. I think I read that. Where was I? Okay, yeah. Let me start with here. All right. Trust in government is my next. Trust in government and accountability. I want to hold the government. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about prices. It's about trust. People don't trust the system anymore. They don't. It's broken. People are talking all over the United States about how they're sick of the two-party and how the system is built for them only. Believe me, it's a lot more than you think. A lot of you guys are feeling the same way. You just won't admit it because it's me. It's okay. That's fine. That's your choice. Because it feels like when something goes wrong, the people pay for it. We always do. We always are the ones that are penalized. Trust me, the government don't take nothing out of their pocket. They give you a COLA raise, the COLA raise for the people that get the Social Security every year. Where do you think they get that money from? Do you think that they go in and they pass a bill and give you more tax money? They cut the food stamp program. They take whatever they give you, they take away from each person that gets food stamp. All they're doing is Peter and Paul money. Oh, I could do that all day long. I got Peter and Paul money all day long. I'm very good at that. That's all they do. They make it look like they've done something for you. When, who is it? Babe, I'm on the air. Chrissy's here. Chrissy? Hey, babe, can you get the door? Christina. No, hang on. I'm on live, but Chrissy's going to come open the door. Hang on. Hang on. Give me a minute. She's in there. I didn't think you were coming over. Yeah. All right, I'm on there. I'm almost done. So, no, she's not. She's in there. She was doing some kind of homework or something. I don't know.
Can I come in? Yeah.
You didn't hear me say it, but you heard her. She's tone deaf for me. Yeah. All right, sorry, my sister interrupted me. She just come home from work on her way home. All right, where was I? The people pay for it, but when something goes wrong, the benefit doesn't come back to them. That's the problem. People are tired of it. They're tired of feeling like the system works for everyone else, but not for them. And then you look at Washington and you see lawmakers, the very people writing the rules, trading stock, making the laws against what you can't do, and breaking the law and doing the opposite of what they're telling you can't do. How is that fair government? You're okay with that? You're okay with them becoming multi-millionaires and trading illegally and telling you if you do it, you go to prison? The same lawmakers are doing this? My God, if you think that's right, then I'll tell you what, we got a lot of things to fight good for. And you should all want to be on board with this. When the American people are struggling to make ends meet, that has to end. Nobody should struggle. No one should be homeless. We should not be helping other countries. We got plenty of money in this country. We shouldn't be in $73 trillion in debt. There's no way we should be. Why? Because of bad mistakes and running the system into the ground. If they left the system work the proper way, if they weren't self-centered and worried about their friends and themselves, we wouldn't be in this mess. We're in trouble. This country is in trouble. And it's not going to take a politician that's seasoned, that's been a politician for years. It's going to take someone that don't know what they're doing about politics, who's got a fight in them to look at everything, stare at it in the face, and tackle it one mountain at one little step at a time to get it done. To be able to negotiate and have a good rapport with Congress and Senate, be able to make the people have a voice again. Because if we get the people to get the voice again, we got strength. Strength will get things changed. You got to fight for what you believe in. Laws can be changed every day. When there's when there's a neighborhood area in some neighborhoods where a lot of deaths, a lot of car accidents happen, right? Nothing happens. They won't do nothing until one of their family members get killed. All of a sudden, a light goes up. A politician's family got killed. No, but now they're doing something. 10 other people died. They don't care. That's not government. That's not government. That's them using the system for their own purpose or use. Ohio changed the speed limit to 55 because his daughter got killed by a truck driver years ago. This is a true story. Ask anybody from Ohio that's been there and lived there. The governor tortured the truck drivers going through Ohio. The governor that was there for a long time because his daughter got killed on the highway by a truck driver, but she was the one I heard was driving drunk. She got killed. He tortured the truck drivers by giving them a ticket 1 mile over the speed limit. Do you know that truck drivers, when I was on the road, they never stopped in Ohio to buy gas unless they had to, unless they were stuck and they had to? They wouldn't spend money to truck. They boycotted it because he treated them like, give them a ticket at 1 mile over the speed limit. He crucified every truck driver. That went on for years. Look at the facts of history. I know what I'm talking about. I was talking the other day and someone said they were very impressed with my knowledge of the CDL and my truck driver. They knew I was telling the truth because they're a truck driver. They knew that the only way I knew that is if I experienced it. You guys say I'm a liar. Well, I'll tell you, the truck drivers that were in the chat, when they were real truck drivers, no, I'm 100% being the real truthful. My story was real through and through. But you guys got to call me a liar. Sorry, I don't lie. I've lived most things that you guys are afraid to do or that won't even attempt to do. I've been through hell and back, but I've done a lot of things. And all my stories, I could prove each and every one. I don't have to, and I won't just to satisfy you guys. I won't. You believe what you want. But if I do make it, I'll help you too. But don't think that now you got a friend, because you don't. I will never forget what you did to me. I'll do what is right by you if you're an American, and I'll fight for you just as much as them. But you will not be able to say you know me as a friend. I won't allow that. You should not You should not be profiting from them. Period. That's not left or right. That's common sense. Let me say this in the clearest way possible. This country does not have a money problem. It does not. It has a fairness problem. That's true. Because when the system makes a mistake, the people pay the price every single time. We pay the price. And it's time for it to stop. If we don't do it now and we keep letting them do this to us, it's going to get so bad. What's left to happen? You know what's left to happen? That we become a country like Cuba or Russia. That's what it's aiming for years to come if we keep allowing this. You want that? You want your freedom taken away? Because that's what they're going to wind up doing. It's a dumbest guy in the world could see that. You can't trust them. And I'm saying, well, then if you're going to be a politician, how can we trust you? Because I'm not a politician. I'm not doing this I'm not been in the game like they were out of college. I'm doing it because I'm a citizen that hates it and I'm tired of it. And someone's got to step in. So I said, I'm going to try because I believe what they're doing. And so does 70% of America. They're corrupt and they're hurting this country. And I want to make it better. I want to make some changes that will fix things. I'm not going to be able to fix everything, but I'm sure going to fight for everything. I will never let you down at any day of the week that I work. Never will let anybody down. I will earn my paycheck. The people don't see the benefit. That's the root of the problem. And that's why I'm running to fix. Now, people question my leadership styles. Now, let me tell you something about me. And I say this over and over, and I'm going to repeat it all the way to the next 2 years. You're going to hear it till you're sick of it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not the brightest guy in the room. I have no education when it comes to books. I'm not perfect. I'm not polished. But I'm real. I'm a real human being. I've lived life. I've made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. And I've learned from each and every one of them. And I believe that is exactly what this country needs right now. Not perfection, not politicians who say the right words. They all say the right words. It all sounds good until they get in, but never deliver results. We need leadership that is. Now here's the big word that you're going to laugh at. It's coming. We need leadership that is calm. We all know Joey C is not a calm person. I have to train myself. That's I really got to police myself with being calmer, because a calmer person can make better decisions. A wild animal would be, I could make a bad mistake. I understand that part. I know what I have to change. That is put there for a reason, so you guys can get a laugh. And that was my idea to put that in there. But to know that I'm working on that every day really bad, to be calmer, to be more steady, to be more accountable. I'm accountable in my life, but I want to be accountable to everything in my life, everything I do for you guys. Leadership that wakes up every single day, which I will promise you, my promise right here and now, ready to work for the American people, not for a headline. I don't care about that. Not for power. Power's overrated. I'm not some rich conglomerate guy that owns stuff, but I need to make strategy moves and have power meetings because I want to be more richer. I'm never going to be a millionaire. I'm doing this as a civil servant that cares. Not for headlines, not for the power, but for results. I'm doing this so if I can make a difference and make results. Here's my plan of action if I'm in as president. Here's how we do it. We don't try to fix everything at once. I think I covered that. We go one issue at a time, one bill at a time, one solution at a time. We work with Congress. That's a given. I have to work with. I have to build a rapport with Congress, because I'm going to need them to present what I want to get changed, so they can take it, and it can get voted on, and it can get made into a bill, and then from a bill it could be into a law. From a law, it could be to where I sign it, to where it comes back to work for you people. If I'm looking at, I know I pull up everything on every president, the last 5 presidents, what they've done, some of the things I talk about that's already been in play. I've got printouts of what they started, what money they put in it. I'm very good with numbers. I know that the veterans budget is from the military budget is tremendously. Even the prison budget is outstanding. They just don't do nothing with it. They give it to the wrong people. every state penitentiary gets federal money every year to make sure that the handicapped that are in there. Not saying if they're guilty, they're still human beings. You don't fucking throw a handicapped guy that can't walk and pick up his wheelchair because he didn't move fast enough. That's what they do, and that's a fact. They'll take you and dump you and make you crawl back. Some people can't move until they're stuck there until someone helps them. But you usually get those officers eventually get them out of there. They rape the women. There's a lot of officers that rape the women prisoners. Some of them give it up willingly because they want to be hoes, so they get cigarettes and makeup. But a lot of women there don't want to be bothered like that, and they do take advantage of that. The handicapped, they break every law that's possible. My daughter, I gave her one promise. She wants to fight. She wants to make it better for anybody else that's deaf, that they never struggle what she went through. Then we do it this way. We take it to the hill. We take it to the hill, and you tell your story, and you fight for all the next people to come in. That's what I'm going to have my daughter do, and change the law. You can do it. Your story, you being deaf, can change the way for the rest of the deaf people that come through the system to be better. That they get the money and they do nothing. I already got a county jail, Pasco County Jail. I called Washington when my daughter was in there. They broke every disability act law possible against her, and they came from Washington and they reprimanded and made sure that they installed everything. I did that with a single phone call. Got called back 3 days later. They don't play in the Disability Act. It's one of the strongest bills ever written. And when they want to march, they tell you want to go and do a march. They don't send 5 people. They send thousands of people to march with you. So trust me, they do. They love that stuff. They heard my daughter what they were doing, and they came and they made sure that they said they get the money. What are they doing? They have to. We were told when they send the reports that every jail is done every time. They lie. You think they don't lie? When there was COVID, when I was locked up before I went to prison, that sheriff in there told his office he would fire them if he leaked out that there were any inmates with COVID. He lied to the American people on TV and said that Marion County Jail had no COVID cases. Nobody died from COVID. He lied his ass off, lied to the governor. But he's a good old boy he's been voted in because he's a good old boy, a good old corrupt sheriff, a good old redneck. They got a lot of power. He put the fear of God in his deputies. They couldn't say nothing. And a lot of people were sick in there with COVID. And he wanted his stats to look better than everybody else. That's why Grady Judd is the best sheriff in the entire 67 counties in Florida. Grady Judd is one of the most fairest, great lawmen. By God, if I got in president, I would make him attorney general. He probably won't take it because he's too old. But he would be my choice if I got in. I would make Grady Judd the attorney general. I would. I wouldn't have this Cash Patel in there. He's the FBI director. And I wouldn't have had Pam Bondi in it as top cop. The other guy is the FBI. Well, if I get in, he's fired. I'm firing him right off the bat. I don't like him. I don't like Indians. You guys can know that, right? Okay. Just want to make that joke too. He goes because he's an Indian. Now, make sure you tell everybody I'm prejudiced against Indians. Make sure you go with it. I'm supposed to have some humor too. One solution at a time, we work with Congress. We push for votes. We get laws passed. We sign them into action. Then we do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's how real change happens, not talk, work, hard work. I'm going to close out tonight with saying, so let me leave you with this. If you feel the pressure, if you're struggling with groceries, if you're worried about rent, if you feel like the system isn't working for you, you're not wrong. And you're not alone. And I'm here to stand with you because I believe in you. Honesty and integrity can still win the White House by fixing the root of the problems. That's been my catchphrase since day one. And that's exactly what I intend to do. I'm not here for no grift. I'm not here to profit. I'm not here to get power. I'm here as a poor American citizen that has seen the system more broken than most people, who has also used the system in ways that I shouldn't have used it. I used it. We used it for FEMA. Bad mistake. We know what we did. We paid back. We paid our time. We're not the only one to do it. Me wanting to cheat on my wife is laughing, but Bill Clinton could get a blowjob in the White House. That's funny. That's comical when I heard that. Why would I all of a sudden become a cheat because I'm president? I don't need power. I'm still a very good-looking man. I don't need that to go out and use the presidency to get women. The person yesterday said that it was very easy to make me look to be good-looking to me. You better get some glasses, dude. And I don't do any gay stuff. But your eyes are broken because I'm not a bad-looking guy. I promise you that. I'm not an ugly guy. There's no ugliness about me. At 60, I look pretty damn good. Now that I got back to Ugly is not a phrase in my family. I'm sorry. I was laughing so hard. I'm ugly. It ain't hard to make you look good. I've seen some of you guys. You're pretty horrendous. I'm telling you right now. So you're telling me American Cupcake can make himself look better looking than me? On his best day, on my worst day, he couldn't be a little better looking than me. That's a fact. Those are just facts I'm giving you. And yes, I'm going to be very vain about that and be very conceited about that. I'm a very good looking man. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. I'm Joseph Samuel Catalano. Honesty and integrity can still win the White House by fixing the root of the problem. I'm studying, so I'm going to be prepared. I'm learning now. I'm going to learn the amendments. I've got what I call Catalano cheat book. And the note says, take this book to your bed with you to sleep. Take this to every restaurant you go eat. Take it in the car. Put it on tape. Listen to it 24/7 till you learn all the amendments. Put it in your head. Learn it, because it's right about one thing. You need to know the three branches of government. You at least need to know the amendments and some foreign policies. Well, we got it all right here. We all got it right here. We understand. We know what the executive part of government is. That's the presidency. The legislation part, we know what that is. And the judicial part is the judges. Legislation is the money, the lawmakers. I get it. You know how I started training myself again that I already knew is I put everything into a baseball diamond. I know baseball the back of my hand, so I put everything in baseball. So I understand the three branches of government. Okay, I understand. I understand some of the amendments. I understand them, but I'm going to know them. I'm going to know the facts, and I'm going to study. This is just the basic cheat sheets that I got. I got 30 pages of stuff to learn that I read every day, and I'm starting to put it in my memory. And when I get it down pat, then I'll be able to answer those questions. I'll be able to be somewhat of a professional when it comes to the government part. But as far as the war part of me fighting for you every day, you got nobody better. I will look to see if there's anything. I don't know if there's any super tips. I don't know. I don't see none. I don't know. Let me see real quick if there is. I'll read them. I got to go. I hope you did. If you did donate, I hope you did put it into the campaign fund. If you didn't, then that's I can't change your mind. A lot of people betting that I'm going to be going to prison for campaign fraud. I'm not. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to put myself in prison for $2, $10, $100, $5, $1 million. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. I refuse to do it. You understand that? I'm not dumb. I'm never going to go back to prison. And I was slated never to come back because my recidivism was low because I got something out of it. I took what was there and used it to help me better myself. I used the program to not be a drug addict. I bettered myself. I came out not a drug addict no more. So that means I will not go back to prison. Understand that. I'm very, very intelligent. Believe me when I tell you. So, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I saw that chat moving pretty good. So I guess everybody here was real. I also got statistics that I put in and analytics saying that when I do my political show, I don't get no new people for the Dabbleverse side, but I'm getting people that are in politics. Again, my percentage is very high of the new people that are coming over and watching. They might not be in a chat room and chat with you, but I've got people coming from the political side, and we're growing. We're getting out there into the world. We're getting known. It's going to happen. I'm going to be known. When I make Florida is when it all bust open because that's going to be national news. Nobody made the ballot, and I'm going to be national news. And then that's when the real work starts. And I'm going to be there to fight. So if you want to join this ride and let's fight for something that's worthy for all of us, then let's do it. Let's work side by side. Let's get this stuff done. Let's have a voice together. You guys know I got a voice. I can talk all day long, so put me in charge of that. You want to tell me what to say, and it makes sense, I'll go your route. I'll trust in you and say it the way I should say it. But I'm the voice that has to do it. I'm the fighter that's got to fight. Remember, inside trading, they can break the law, we can't. Slush fund, break the law, we can. Tariffs, I didn't touch on tariffs. I think it was $180 million he took. I guess somewhere down the line, I think a federal judge declared it was done illegally. Got to go over back to it. So why is the grocery still too damn high? And why is the rent still too damn high? So now I'm hoping Walmart and all the grocery stores in the United States, and all the big corporations, they're going to give us back the money that they overcharged us with because they were mad when the tariffs were taken. But now they're getting all that money back. That's a proven fact. So they didn't get hurt now. So I hope they're going to reciprocate and we're all going to get a check in the mail because they need to start writing checks and send it to every home. They ripped us off. charges craziness. The rents are too damn high, still too damn high. That's going to be our core. We're going to tap with the American people what they dislike, and I got 70%. All I got to do is get 50% of those people. 50% of the people that see that I believe in what they believe in and fight for them, I win the election just on that. You understand that, right? 51% is what I'm going to need. So I could do that because I'm real, and I'm going to be real, and I'm going to be very, very honest to every person I talk to. They're going to see it. They're going to look into my eyes and see my heart. They're going to feel it. And they're going to say, this is the guy. I don't care what. I don't care if he was an addict. I don't care if he went to prison. This guy wants to really care and fight. And I believe he's going to do it because he's going to we're all going to join with him. That's all I'm saying. Dave Serra. I've had a lot of beefs with him. He gave me a compliment the other day, and I want to thank Dave. I wanted to personally thank Dave for that compliment. I really thought it was nice of him. Whether he meant it or not, I think he did. But he said a lot of people he ran into lately talked really highly of me. He didn't realize I had people like me. And he goes, "You're still a scumbag." He did throw that in there. He goes, "But I might be, the turn might be turning. I might be going pro Joey C. And I might even, I'm the type of guy that will start raising money for his campaign." Well, let me tell you something. If that ain't progress, if me and Dave Serra join forces and he helps me with my campaign, that there will show you right there that people that hate you, all they got to do is seek the right people that do love me and really listen to them and really believe them because they're telling him the truth. And he sees it and he believes it and he starts getting to know me, and then he really happy does. That's progress if I got Dave Serra on my campaign to help me. Shout out to Dave Serra. Thank you for that compliment because you're doing the right thing, brother. If you really want to join and want to help, I don't want nothing personal. But if you want to help me get California and start lobbying and start getting if you got the ability to raise money, put it in where the campaign money goes. So you know it's safe. You know it'll be done right. You could monitor everything with me. I don't care. You could come aboard and you could I'll put you in charge as a treasurer. You could be the treasurer of my campaign if that's what you want. I think I could trust you. I don't think you'll steal the money. Even though when I know that you're an addict, I still would trust you, just so you know you could trust me. I could appoint someone to be the accountant. I could appoint anybody. I got me down with. I do have my own movement. I have Catalano for America 2028. So I do have my own party. I can make you in charge of that. I can do anybody I want. Right now, you would be in charge with two bankers. It'd be 3 signatures to take any money out for the campaign. But I go to you. You write up. You do the paperwork. You get it to the bank, and then you get the bill paid. That's all I want. I want a fair chance. So I would definitely let you be the treasurer, just to show you that I got no funny business going on. I don't want no part of anything corrupt anymore in my life. I've seen enough corruption in my life. I've lived it, and I don't want it no more. Shuli Madoff, thank you for the $5. Let's see. Of course, it's going to be something, because it says, I can't even read that. Let me see. Let me get rid of this. If I take this down, I can write on this. It's awful small. I don't know if I can read it. It says, Shuli Madoff, $5. Imagine this clown giving a State of Union. Yeah, that's right. Well, Shuli Madoff, I got some bad news for you. I've got the fight. I've got the will. And what are you going to do when I do make it? And the only reason you call me a clown because you're the real clown. What's your real name? What do you do for the world? Why do you hide behind the thing and always got to insult people? Are you a man? You want to do it to my face? I'll respect you a lot more. Thank you for the $5. Everybody have a great night. I'm Joseph Catalano, and let's make some noise and let's get me to the White House. I love you.